180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock
in downtown Atlanta.
For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992
or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com.
For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant.
Authentic Caribbean cuisines.
Open up the door. Tell your mama hungry.
The new GMC Sierra with hands-free driving offers the most advanced and luxurious pickup in its class. Yeah, it rocks.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again. This is Always Ultra Thins reinvented with the Always Triple Protection System. This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with the totally reinvented Always Ultra Thins. This is always like never before.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival. This is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
Charmin Ultra Soft has so much cushiony softness, it's hard for your family to remember they can use less.
Sweet pillows of softness.
This is soft.
Holy Charmin. Oh, excuse me. Roll it back, everybody.
Sorry.
Charmin Ultra Soft is so cushiony soft, you'll want more, but it's so absorbent, you can use less, so it's always worth it. Now, what did we learn about using less?
You gotta roll it back, everybody.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
That's a pretty tight spot.
Watch this.
Of course your Buick parks itself. That's so you.
It's just up here on the right.
Of course you know where we're going. That's so you.
Kinda got a 6th sense.
And a head-up display.
They're here.
Hit the field, warm up. You brought all these players in your Buick?
Yeah.
So you.
It is.
There's a Buick that fits your life, because at the heart of every Buick SUV is you.
Are you ready? It's time. The inaugural Urban NerdCon is coming to Montgomery, Alabama, July 29th through the 31st. Blurs, nerds, and geeks from across the universe will converge on the capital city to see celebrity guests such as The Last Dragon, Timok, Megan Tandy, and voice actor Dave Fennoy.
Hey, how you doing? I'm voice actor Dave Fennoy with a shout out to all my geeks, freaks, and urban nerds. Just want to let you know I'm going to be there and I want to meet you. at the Urban NerdCon Gaming and Cosplay event. It's happening July 29th through the 31st in Montgomery, Alabama. Hope you want to meet me as much as I want to meet you.
So join us by visiting theurbannerdcon.net for ticket and vendor information. This will be the premier Blurred event in the universe. Theurbannerdcon.net. Our heroes, our villains, our stories, everyone's con. See you there.
You see, Head & Shoulders has scalp shield technology, protects against flakes even between washes. It's never not working.
Kind of like us. We're never not working. Number 15?
That's my rub.
Ooh, nice.
Never not working.
Never, ever, never, ever not working.
Welcome everybody to Juneau, Alaska.
I don't like this one.
Me neither.
Let's get out of here.
Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head & Shoulders scalp shield technology.
Some carriers will give you just one measly entertainment subscription. One is no fun. With Verizon, there's up to 7 entertainment subscriptions with your unlimited plan. That's 7 times the... 7 times the... No. 7 times the... Music, gaming, Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Plus, and more. That's 7 times the entertainment. Because everyone deserves better. And with plans starting at just $35, better costs less than you think.
At CDW, we get speed as the new currency of success.
Our team spends way too much time tending to outdated applications and software when they should be focused on driving application agility and innovation.
CDW Amplify Development Services modernizes software and application development to help accelerate innovation and digital transformation.
So you mean building new applications, UI, and mobile interfaces?
Well, you said you needed to innovate more quickly.
Oh, so he's a listener.
To do more at scale, trust CDW Amplify Development Services.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app. As we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
Oh, that spin class was brutal.
Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat.
Ooh, yeah, that's nice.
Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless.
Pick something we all like.
Okay, hold on.
What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
Buick Envision 2021.
Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable.
That's a really tight spot.
Don't worry, I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you. All of you.
Good morning, live from Birmingham, Alabama. It's the 2022 SWAC Football Media Day, our coverage, BCSN Game Time show right here on the Black College Sports Network and HBCU League Pass Plus. It's a pleasure to be here this morning. I'm Brian Fulford, and joining me from across my way, coming back to me, is A.D. Drew.
Good morning, my brother.
Good morning, co-host of the BCSN Sports
2 days. Two media days.
You're all over
2
the
days.
place.
Yes,
You're
sir.
all over the place. Love it. Also, we've got Carlos. I was starting from
My furthest coming to me, Mr. Producer. See, live television is going to be at its best today. Also, next to AD is Carlos Brown of The Carlos Brown Show. Carlos, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing fine. It's a pleasure to be here once again, 2022 SWAC Football Media Day. I'm more anxious about the predictions, and hopefully I will get my prediction in a better stance than the previous season. The Jackson State alums and fans have not let me go with that, predicting them 4th in the East last year. So I haven't lived that down.
Yeah, you got a ways. You got some makeup room. So we got FAMU represented, Southern represented, and joining me right next to me from Grambling State University, Miss Faith Daniels. Faith, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm excited. This is my first SWAC Media Day, so of course I have butterflies. You did say Grambling State University, the place where everybody is somebody. So I'm very excited to see our team.
All right. Well, see, we're well represented, of course. Coming up shortly, we also got Dr. Kenyatta Cavill, Charles Bishop, Mike Washington, of course, of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. I know actually Neely will be here. We see Neely here, so he'll be here with Charles, a part of the pregame show. Anything else I missed? Any other shows? Who else will be here today?
Is BJ going to be here today from
Probably we will
HBCU
have. Probably
football?
I think we'll have BJ Jones here of Inside HBCU football. I don't know. It'll be a good day today for us, but.
And you're representing the ONG strike zone.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. We did our predictions. Carlos, you'll be pleased to know that my co-hosts, all three of them, predict Southern to make it out of the West.
Predictions sure to go wrong.
Expectations are always
not me,
big on the bluff.
My three co-hosts, they said Southern. So
pressure, expectations.
Pressure, expectations. So that'll be a chance for us to kind of talk. Let's just start going around. We'll start with Faith and kind of go that way. What's the one thing, and I know it's hard to narrow down to one, so if you can, what's one thing that you're looking forward to finding out in today's football media day?
Who wants it the most? You know what I'm saying? How bad each team wants it. Like, who's going to come here like, yeah, we them boys.
Okay. All right. Carlos?
Just the expectations and looking at the coaches. And, usually they're going to be generic with a lot of their responses. But predictions, who makes it out of the East, who makes it out of the West. Jackson State is going to be heavily favored, I assume. And then the Wild Wild West, because, expectations with Southern, with Coach Dooley coming over from Prairie View, Grambling State, Coach Hugh Jackson, a new coach. And then Prairie View A&M. No one's really talking about them, and they're the defending Western Division champs. And then also just, looking forward to the commissioner and the state of the address of the Southwestern Athletic Conference, financially, branding, marketing, all that good stuff. And just to always hear Dr. McCullough talk about the state of the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
See, that's a good radio guy, TV guy right there. He gives us so much to talk about. He can't just narrow it down to one. He gives us a lot to think about and talk about already. That's why I love Carlos. What do you got, Drew? I'm not even going to ask you to narrow it down to one now.
Well, since Carlos gave a long answer, because I was prepared for one thing, I can't let him outdo me. I'm just going to come with two quick ones. Will there be dominance again by a team in the SWAC, i.e. what Jackson State did last year, what FAMU did, except for the one game against Jackson State? Or will there be true parity this year in the SWAC or both sides of the ball? That's question number one. And then question number two, what is going to be that nugget that will be dropped today that will go viral? Because somewhere today in one of these breakout sessions, or I guess Faith forgot the memo to put your phone on silent, but I'm going to ignore that.
Get me up. I just got in 12 o'clock this morning. It's been going on all day. I'm so sorry.
But somewhere either in doing the main session or doing one of these breakout sessions, there's going to be a nugget. I'm guessing. I'm not. No
What did we
inside
have last year?
information.
What was the viral moment last year?
But we had the viral moment actually wasn't a nugget. It was the exchange between Coach Prime and the people
Putting
on the
respect
Zoom.
on the
Put
name.
respect,
Putting
yes.
respect on the
When
name.
he was like when he called him Dion instead of Coach Prime or Coach Sanders, and that was the viral moment last year. So I want what is going to be that viral moment this year in this SWAC Media Day.
Good point. Last year, the focus coming in seemed to be on, of course, Coach Sanders and Jackson State. This year, we come in and we have Coach Hugh Jackson in Grambling State. So you've had some conversations with Coach Hugh, I believe. I mean, you're very familiar with the Grambling. What are the expectations that you're hearing from students as well as those alums that you get a chance to talk to for this upcoming year for Grambling?
Well, it's Hugh Jackson, so I think everybody expects nothing but great things. But one thing I do appreciate about him is he's very humble. He doesn't come in there like I'm Hugh Jackson. It's just like you kind of know. But the way that I've seen him interact with the student athletes, it's been like, I'm here for you guys. So I think with that type of mentality, the type of coaching that he's done in the past, like Grambling's going to be able to do some things.
Carlos, of course, Grambling, big rival of Southern.
Yeah,
what do you?
Classic.
Yeah, and I mean, there's been even in recruiting battles, Grambling's pulled some guys that might have been heading towards Southern, so that just adds fire. What from the Southern perspective, what's the take on Hugh Jackson from the last couple of months since he's arrived in Grambling, Louisiana? Well,
Respect, because it's your rival, and no matter who the coach is, it's a rivalry. But it's kind of like, if I can put it in this analogy, it's kind of like family, because they're in the state of Louisiana, but there's a competitive edge there that you want to get, and I think this is going to be a spectacular Bayou Classic. Although it's the last game of the season, you mentioned about some players that got flipped. That happens in the recruiting battle, but there was one, and Jason Greathouse, who committed to Southern, then he decommitted, then he committed to Grambling, then he decommitted for Grambling, came back to Southern University. So it just adds a little extra to already intense rivalry. And
he saw that roster. That's what that was.
Yeah,
he saw that roster and said, "Let me be honest with myself."
Actually, I hadn't looked at it, but social media, they have done some great recruiting, but also Southern University just has quietly, they've built a machine. So, all of that is good, but it's going to come down to performing on the field.
New coaches, new players, a big topic of conversation in Grambling. And the reason made me bring that up, Drew, is I had a conversation with the SID of Grambling early this morning as I'm wandering, still blurry-eyed, out in the hallway, and he told me Grambling has 50 new players on the roster. Now, I thought Southern had quite a few. I remember when you talked to Jim
50,
Klein, it was about 20. I thought 20 was high, but
selective
50.
Bringing people in pieces, yeah. Because when you turn the whole team over. Last year, you looked at Jackson State did it, Alabama A&M has done it, and Grambling. So with that situation, just about chemistry and bonding and getting the production on the field, but doesn't it just make for an exciting season?
Oh, it does definitely. Jump in there, Drew. What do you got?
Well, I'm gonna come from the fans' point of view, since I don't have a tie to either one of the schools like you two do. Number one, the Bayou Classic was probably, for me, my introduction to HBCU football. Watching that game 2 days after Thanksgiving on NBC Channel 5, where I grew up at in St. Louis, Missouri, and that was kind of like the first time I realized that the black colleges. I thought all I knew was University of Missouri, Illinois, and North Carolina and
similar
stuff.
Midwest experience that I had,
Notre Dame and stuff like that. So that was my first introduction to black college football. At about 9, 10 years old. So And the reason I bring up the Bayou Classic is from fans, just signed a new 3-year contract with NBC. But what time we gonna play the game?
That's still undecided.
Exactly. So that's the first thing I want to know as a fan of the game. What time are we going to play the game on that day? And I know there's some things still to be worked out, but that's one of the things I want to know. So I can start making my reservations in New Orleans. That's number one. And then number two, I think the thing is for both these schools, what's the quarterback situation? Because we hear things about the defense, the skill positions, the lines, and everything like that. What you have not heard from outside of Grambling and Southern is the quarterbacks, because both schools have brought in some transfers. They've recruited some people. So what will the quarterback situation look like at both these schools? That's the other question that I have.
That's a legitimate question. I know with Coach Dooley, Southern they've made a decision, but Coach Dooley keeps it close to the vest. And later on, I'm going to try to see if I can pry it out of him. And I'm pretty good at that, but I may have met my match.
It's definitely somebody that came in. I don't think it's a returner that's going to be starting for them.
Well,
for who? Southern or Grambling?
For Southern, I don't think it's going to be a returner. I think it's somebody they're bringing in.
Well, it could be Mr. McCray as a junior college quarterback, and then Noah Bowden. Does that name sound familiar?
Oh yes, we know him. He said he was dropping that G, repping that SU, so we know who he is.
How great would that be? Come on, that's what I'm rooting for. Look, I'm rooting for all the quarterbacks who left an HBCU SWAC school, and there's a couple
that are still in the
SWAC. I'm rooting for those guys to play those old teams, and I'll be rooting for Noah Biden to win that job at Southern.
We're gonna let him slide. We're gonna let him slide.
We'll see. I look more for great competition in the fall camp, but and Bubba Mcdaniel, returning player.
Seems like he's been there for
forever.
3 or 4 years.
He's a grad student now.
Well, with COVID, it seems like they're there about 7-8 years now.
Yeah, definitely.
Intriguing, huh?
You want to give us any tips on the?
Well, my inside source was it's not going to be a returner. So I mean, it's probably going to be somebody that's just coming into the program that's going to be starting for them.
And for Grambling, what's it
looking like? For Grambling, since those are my people, I'm not gonna throw anything out there. I'm gonna just let y'all see. I gotta keep our secrets, but everybody else out there.
Look, Faith. Let me tell you something. You gotta drop it on here so that BCSN does not get credit for dropping the nuggets, and that everybody else did it. But we at least we got the film that we dropped it on here first. So go ahead and drop that nugget.
Oh yes. I'm gonna let Hugh Jackson tell y'all.
Okay,
so I'm just my loyalty is with my people.
All right. Coming up shortly, we're going to transition to a break. Come back with I think Dr. Kenyatta Cavill's in the waiting room, ready to step up. We'll have Faith joining us. I know Faith will be doing some stand-up and doing some interviews with some of the players.
I don't know how well she's going to be standing up today after that day we had yesterday in CIAA country.
Yesterday. Literally.
Long day.
Well, yes. We're going to give you a chance to kind of get your
coffee,
your coffee, and get yourself
my juice
together.
Here.
And let me know, as I'm waiting on my coffee. So when you go, feel free to bring a cup this way. We'll come back in just a moment. You're watching the BCSN Game Time Show live from SWAC Football Media Day here in Birmingham, Alabama, right here on the Black College Sports Network and HBCU League Pass Plus.
Time to call a credit repair company to fix my credit. Hold the phone, man. You can do it yourself with Credit Versio. That's way too hard. Call the credit repair company. Most credit repair companies only work on 1 or 2 accounts at a time, making it slow and expensive. You won't figure that out for months. Ignore him. Credit Versio's brilliant software scans all 3 credit bureaus, finds the accounts that are hurting your score, and guides you through the entire process. Anyone can do it. Let's fast forward and see the results. Wow, I fixed my own credit and saved hundreds. You can do this. Visit creditversio.com.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m. Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
So we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta. For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992 or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com. For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, authentic Caribbean cuisines.
Open up the door, tell your mama hungry.
The new GMC Sierra with hands-free driving offers the most advanced and luxurious pickup in its class. Yeah, it rocks.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again. This is Always Ultra Thins reinvented with the Always Triple Protection System. This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with the totally reinvented Always Ultra Thins. This is always like never before.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Good morning and live again from Birmingham, Alabama, here for the 2022 SWAC Football Media Day. It's the BCSN Game Time Show live on the Black College Sports Network and HBCU League Pass Plus. I'm Brian Fulford, and joining me right here now, Charles Bishop of the pregame show and Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Of course, Carlos Brown of the Carlos Brown Show, and the doc himself, Dr. Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Gentlemen, how's everybody doing this morning?
Doing well, excited to be here.
Yeah.
I'm doing well. As you would say, I'm excited, extremely excited. Time to go to the lecture lab.
Let's kind of, I know, Carlos, we kind of went through some of this a little bit in the previous segment, but let's get Doc and Charles's let's start with kind of the one among the many. There's a lot of things that we're looking forward to, but what's one thing that you're looking to learn or find out about in today's media day? Doc, I'll go to Doc and then Charles.
I think the biggest thing that I'm looking forward to just the natural spontaneity of what may happen. You know, we're always thinking, well, let's look at this. Usually the biggest things happen, what you're not considering. So I want to know what that will be. But also, obviously, the normal. I want to know what Dr. Charles McCullum, what the commissioner will say in his open statement. Usually at these events, he'll drop a nugget or two, something that is significant that the SWAC is moving towards or has happened. So I'm interested to see what that may be. Television, I don't know.
It's funny you bring that up. I remember a few years ago, him dropping nuggets about the plane. I remember this was like right before the 100th anniversary, and then of course COVID hit and kind of ruined a lot of plans. But it's funny you brought that up. That just flashed in my head. I was like, yeah, I remember it was this plane announcement, and the whole room was like, what, a plane? It's like, yeah. So how about you?
Yeah, I think Doc touched on it, the spontaneity of what the coaches might say. I mean, we get some nuggets that come out of the SWAC Media Day every year, and it keeps Twitter a buzz for the next 2-3 weeks, so you know that's going to happen. But you know, with as as much, I guess, turbulence that you have in the transfer portal, teams churning their roster, you kind of get an introduction into the 2022 season, and you kind of get some insight into who's on the roster. So, kind of looking forward to that. And then, of course, the predictions of, first through last, that always generates buzz. And then who makes the first and second team all-SWAC team, because inevitably somebody's going to be left off, and it's going to create buzz, and it's going to create that chip on that player's shoulder. So it's always fun and exciting times when those names start dropping.
Yeah, I think with the preseason first and second place teams, I remember Dr. McClellan saying usually you get sort of the carryover from guys who won the awards at the end of the regular season. But I'm interested to see, obviously with the transfer portal guys leaving, how that looks. I didn't do the numbers to see how many guys that were, on that first and second team from, when was that, November of last year. How many guys are coming back? And everything's been so fluid.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, what's that going to look like? As we think about, obviously, a year ago, Coach Prime was the big the big star in the room, so to speak, being the newcomer. This year, you could arguably say maybe it's Hugh Jackson. But I'm wondering, is there a coach, and I don't know, how many new coaches do we have this year? Anybody?
I think 4, if I'm not
4 new
mistaken.
coaches?
Yeah.
Especially if you count
I was going to say, are we counting Dooley as one of the 4?
Yeah. Well, I guess moving from one school to another.
Okay, in that case, 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so is there a coach that is, when you think about these things at Media Day, that maybe is under the radar a little bit, or kind of is going to play things, real vanilla, but at the end of the day, he's just chomping at the bit to just, get after some people? Is there anybody you can think of that might fall into that category?
I know one.
I know one.
Who won't say it? Who won't say it?
I say it, Coach Dooley.
Okay.
I have experience with Coach Dooley when he was at Prairie View. I mean, he's really low key. In front of the camera, in interviews, and just his nature. But when it's time to suit it up, or you get him off the camera, when you have a personal relationship with him, he'll give you a lot of nuggets, a lot of jewels, and he burns with the desire to bring home a championship as a head coach. He's done it every level in every capacity throughout his career at different institutions. And to do it at Southern would be significant. So I know he is somebody that you want to consider in terms of dropping that nugget. Another one right down the street is FAMU, Willie Simmons.
Yep.
Very competitive.
I was thinking him when you mentioned about Dooley. I think Simmons is very similar to Dooley in that respect, where today I think you will get very calm, collective. I don't sense that he is a big fan of these. He plays it real low, but if you get him personally.
To me, it's not that he's a fan. He enjoys it.
Okay.
Y'all can get it twisted.
Okay.
All
right. Okay.
Again, there's another one at Prairie View. Willie Simmons likes to talk, and he has something to say, and he likes to share with different people about his thoughts and opinions on things. But he's usually pretty straight to the vest, which is your point in regards to what's going on. But if you get him off camera, again, you have a relationship and you get a chance to sit down with him and have a conversation, he'll break down some things, and you'll be like, ooh, I didn't know Willie went that way. So he's another fascinating one where you'll get one coach speak, if you would, which is not necessarily negative. Most folks think about coach speak meaning they're just saying it. No, it's just the nature of the business. But when you get a chance and you develop some relationship with these coaches in regards to how they think about life and beyond football, about people, family, the community, right, the state of U.S., the world, and they can provide you some perspectives that make you say, wow, I didn't quite think about it that way.
That's an excellent point to piggyback what Dr. Cavill was saying. I always talk about on the show that coaches, they're human beings. They have personalities. And with Coach Dooley, I knew I was coming to Coach Dooley, but I agree, Dr. Cavill, with Coach Willie Simmons. And I also would add Coach Sanders, kind of what the thing he does in the community. But it's so interesting with Coach Dooley because he cut his teeth coaching in the profession. at Southern University under Coach Richardson, and just talking to people, that was always a dream. He didn't know if it was going to happen, but to come back to Southern University now as the head coach. So with that being said, yeah, and it's pressure. And talking with him, he knows that he doesn't really have a grace period. Some would say a honeymoon period. He has come to Southern University, and he wants to win that championship. So another intriguing, intangible situation for the coaches.
I think Eddie Robertson Jr. is going to surprise some people. Because he's already kind of thrown the gauntlet down, MEAC SWAC challenge. He wants to wrest that crown away from the MEAC and return it back to the SWAC. So he's already
he thought it was his rightful place.
Return it to its rightful place, exactly.
Okay.
So looking forward to what Coach Rob has to say, and then of course Connell Maynard is a quote machine, and then I know Coach Prime is going to hold court. So so it's going to be fun.
Amongst all the notes, and I know Doc inspired me with this when I listened to the show the other day, the matrix. He talked about his matrix of breaking down all the games. I was looking at sort of strength of schedule, and I'm curious what you guys think of this when you hear strength of schedule among toughest and weakest strengths of schedules. Now, this is broken down. AD likes to break down a lot of numbers, a lot of good metrics for the BCSN. So here's the top 5 toughest schedules. This is overall from 1 to 5. We've got Mississippi Valley State a 1, Alcorn 2, Bethune-Cookman 3, Prairie View 4, Alabama A&M 5. And then the weakest from, I guess you'd say maybe easiest, Grambling 1, Texas Southern 2, Jackson State 3.
He must be talking about overall.
Overall.
Yeah. I mean,
and
I
Grambling has a weak schedule.
Yeah. I don't have my computer laptop with the whole spreadsheet, so I'm not too familiar with the non-conference games. I did kind of do a chart and break out the cross divisions if we get into talking about that. But
I can see in terms of a tabulated analysis of how that could be the case. I think what becomes interesting in there is how people's personal biases start to come in. I've seen that in this conference through the years in terms of the centroid is what I would kind of call it, in terms of those that focus on the 4 programs, and now people have added maybe FAMU, Alcorn, Grambling, Jackson State Southern in terms of that centroid. So when they play each other, the rivalry is there in terms of the personal connection of how close those are, how much they've won, frankly, in the conference makes those matches big. So when people see them playing each other, which those schedules pretty much adhere to that in different ways because of the first 2 years in the rivalries, I can see where people would say and have a concern about Grambling being the weakest schedule. So that's the one component. But one of the things I like to look at in terms of that is not just non-conference, because it's hard, because you have the FBS teams in there, which is a challenge of how you're going to measure those. Some people play the Division II, and then you have some playing NIA. How are you measuring the strength? So I focus more on just the conference type games, FCS games, and so that changes it up a little bit for me. But generally speaking, I don't have a major problem with that lineup when you talk about Valley having a stronger strength of schedule when you look at some of those opponents.
I normally try to parse how I feel about schedules until teams get through September, because like Dr. Cavill said, you have those out-of-conference games, you have those FBS opponents, but October 1st is my line of demarcation, because once you start getting into the thick of things, that's when it becomes fun.
It gets real.
It gets real, exactly. And you kind of you make your mental notes throughout the month of September. I think I know I did that last year with Jackson State. Interesting win against FAMU, beat Tennessee State, and now at the end, and I think fandom kind of kicks in like they really are. Who they said they were. So, and I think, that sort of is a slow build, and then you get into October, and then things kind of break out the way they, hopefully, these predictions break out.
And boy, October has been tough for a lot of teams. But you talked about Alcorn State and Stephen F. Austin at home. And of course, it's non-conference. Then the FCS in the top 10 preseason. And then you have McNeese State with a new coach, but traditionally tough. And then, Tulane. So, to Charles's point, I think you have to look after the first month because a lot of teams playing a tough non-conference schedule, they may be a better team, but their record may not reflect that. Yeah. And then like Southern University, Florida Memorial, then the next week LSU. Hey, you're going up and you're going down. So a good indication, I guess, is later in the month.
Yeah, as we in our room. Yeah, in our background, I think we might even get an early.
Maybe he'll drop a nugget.
Drop a nugget early. Well, we're able to get in. This is why we do. This is why I wanted to do the morning show. We get a chance to possibly get Dr. Charles McClellan in early as he gets ready to take a seat.
Man, I know one thing.
Oh, yeah, because he's going to be busy. A busy guy.
Clean. He looking clean.
Yeah,
wait till y'all see the commission.
Definitely. There he is. There he is. Good morning, Doc. How you doing?
Doing very well. Thanks for being here.
Yes, and thank you for having us. How are you feeling this morning? It's a big day for the SWAC conference and these 12 football schools.
No, feeling great. This is a great day for the Southwestern Athletic Conference, 12 football schools. Over 220 media, so very excited about that, and it just shows the growth and the strength of the Southwestern Athletic Conference that many people are interested in what we're doing.
What are some of the things that you look at? Obviously, you want to wait until you do your address, State of the SWAC, but just give us an overall framing. How do you put that together? What things do you consider when you start working on what you're going to say to the people about the State of the SWAC?
Well, when we first started that really wasn't the intent. When I came out my first year, I kind of did it, and it seemingly worked, and we've continued to do so. And we've kind of went somewhat on a media blackout over the last 2 months because we didn't want to give away a lot of the things that were going on. But what we want to do is reflect on the past, and then talk about where we are and where we're going in the future. And the future is significant for us. In my opinion, I watched the media days of the SEC. I watched the WAC media days. I watched the Southland media days. And everybody kind of said the same thing. This is the greatest time in our history. This is unprecedented. So I'm going to try not to use those words, but this is the greatest time in our history, and this is very unprecedented. When you look at the growth, when you look at the maturity of the SWAC, when you look at our coaches, hopefully you'll be able to put up the media guide and you look at those legendary coaches, not just from a playing perspective, but just from a coaching perspective. It's extremely significant. One of the things that I've been extremely, extremely pleased about is all of the interest in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Now, mind you, some of it kind of caught me off guard when you log on and you see everybody talking about the Southwestern Athletic Conference, right? But that's a good thing. That means that our brand is there. That means that our brand is growing. And my responsibility is to continue to grow that brand and continue to put a really good product, out there, not just from a football's perspective, but a 18 teams perspective. 18 sports perspective. And, we know that the transformation committee, we know there's going to be a lot of changes in the NCAA. We know, conference realignment. I saw the Sports Illustrated article about super conference. You have all of those things. And I'll end by saying this. I remember in my management class back at Prairie Green University, one of the things that I loved to work on was that SWOT analysis. Your strengths, weaknesses, opportunity, and threats. Yes, and I can tell you 30 years later, it has really paved the way in order for us to kind of stay ahead because we have strengths, we have weaknesses, and we definitely have threats and a lot of opportunities. So this state of the Southwestern Athletic Conference will address some of those issues.
All right. Well, I know you're very busy this morning. I appreciate you taking a few minutes to stop by. Maybe after things get going, you'll stop by. And
you want me twice?
I thought I know you got more questions. Right? I'm sure a lot of people do. But I appreciate your time. You want?
And also, Dr. McClellan, congratulations
Definitely.
on being vice chair and then chair of the basketball committee. And my just quick, simple question will be this. What do you enjoy the most about this day? I know it's been a lot of preparation, but what's the most, what you enjoy about this day?
Well, this is the official kickoff of football. We're in the South where football is king. We set attendance records last year. When you look at our models and when we got the numbers, there were actually more people that watched some of our games on ESPN Plus than watch games on ESPN2. So when you get those types of numbers, when you get that type of interaction and excitement about the Southwestern Athletic Conference, days like today is hard to sleep because you're getting ready to open this thing up. And again, this is going to be an unprecedented year. You're talking about Eddie Robinson at Alabama State, a SWAC legend, somebody that did great things, played with Steve McNair, came back to his alma mater. He didn't have to. I don't want to put Eddie's business out on the street, but Eddie got plenty of money. Eddie don't need to come coach, right? Eddie did this because he loves his alma mater, Alabama State. Then you talk about Hugh Jackson, Grambling State, the Grambling icon, the name of Grambling. And then you have somebody like a Hugh Jackson. And then, you know what Coach Prime has already done. And then Coach Dooley leaving Prairie View, going to Southern. He's going home. His accent, when you talk to him today, it's gotten even deeper now. He kind of changed it. He had a little Texas accent. He's back down to that deep Louisiana accent. He's comfortable. He's at home. And you anticipate Southern fan base to be extremely, extremely excited, not to mention what Coach Dancy has done down at Mississippi Valley State. They got on a roll last year. So this is going to be, again, a year where you're not going to be able to take anybody for granted. Texas Southern, everybody had them picked kind of down last year. They gave everybody everything that they wanted to handle and actually won some games. That game in Dallas against Southern and Texas Southern is going to be one to watch. So
you would remember that when Dr. McClellan.
Yeah. Well, by the way,
but you're true. It's true.
Banks called me, although the officials took it took a long time. The ball was spotted right, so don't blame it on the officials.
Hey,
for the record,
congratulations, Texas Southern. They won.
Yeah. So from that perspective, this is a very, very exciting time for us. This kicks it off. And, again, I don't want to use those same adjectives that the others have used, but this is truly going to be a special year for us.
All right. Thank you again. We're going to take a short break and come back. You're watching the BCSN Game Time Show right here on the Black College Sports Network and HBCU League Pass Plus.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
Charmin Ultra Soft has so much cushiony softness, it's hard for your family to remember they can use less.
Sweet pillows of softness.
This is soft.
Holy Charmin. Oh, excuse me. Roll it back, everybody. Sorry.
Charmin Ultra Soft is so cushiony soft, you'll want more. But it's so absorbent, you can use less. So it's always worth it.
Now, what did we learn about using less?
You gotta roll it back, everybody.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
That's a pretty tight spot.
Watch this.
Of course your Buick parks itself. That's so you.
It's just up here on the right.
Of course you know where we're going. That's so you.
Kinda got a sixth sense.
And a head-up display.
They're here.
Hit the field, warm up. You brought all these players in your Buick?
Yeah,
So you.
it is.
There's a Buick that fits your life, because at the heart of every Buick SUV is you.
Are you ready? It's time. The inaugural Urban NerdCon is coming to Montgomery, Alabama, July 29th through the 31st. Blurs, nerds, and geeks from across the universe will converge on the capital city to see celebrity guests such as The Last Dragon, Tybach, Megan Tandy, and voice actor Dave Fennoy.
Hey, how you doing? I'm voice actor Dave Fennoy with a shout out to all my geeks, freaks, and urban nerds. Just want to let you know I'm going to be there and I want to meet you at the Urban NerdCon Gaming and Cosplay event. It's happening July 29th through the 31st in Montgomery, Alabama. Hope you want to meet me as much as I want to meet you.
So join us by visiting theurbannerdcon.net for ticket and vendor information. This will be the premier Blurred event in the universe. TheUrbanNerdCon.net. Our heroes, our villains, our stories, everyone's con. See you there.
You see,
Good morning and welcome back to the BCSN Game Time Show live here at SWAC Football Media Day. And watching us on the Black College Sports Network and HBCU League Pass Plus. AD Drew back in with us, Carlos Brown, Dr. Kenyatta Cavill. Of course, we appreciate Dr. Charles McClellan for taking a second to come and talk to us. So it'll be real interested to see what those comments will be. Coming up a little bit later this morning before they actually start the show, we'll kind of get into our predictions for this. Of course, you know, we like to run predictions. Who doesn't like to run predictions, you know? This is what it's all about, right?
I'm
Predictions
still
sure
trying
to go
live mine
wrong.
down from last year, so I need to focus. I need to focus on now.
You guys got to leave Carlos alone, all right?
I can't wait till I talk about my predictions. I did my math. I told you my matrix.
And see that is fine.
And see, I did mine too.
What it came out of it surprised me, so I can't wait.
I'm curious.
It'll be a little different, so I want to see what people think.
I want to see if yours and mine are along the same line, because I've got a couple of interesting matchups and a couple of November 19th games that I think are going to be interesting. It's the last Saturday.
Look, as we talk about the schedule and, of course, the non-conference, looking at the season, there are only 2 weeks when all 6 teams are playing against each other. That's week 10 and week 11. Those are the.
I think that's down 1 from last year.
It is. I think there were 3
late in the season.
And then there are 2 weeks when you have 10 of the 12 playing, and that is week 5. Actually, there's 3 weeks. Actually, there's 3. No, excuse me. Check it now. 4. So you have week 4, week 5, week 6, and week 9 when you have 10 teams playing. So maybe that's I think that might be the difference from a year ago where they had 3 of the full schedules, and I don't remember there being.
They had 1 less.
Yeah, so the schedulers put together, you got 4, which is pretty good. I think having whenever, so that's pretty much that's 6 good solid weeks where you're going to have 10 to 12 teams playing.
And then, of course, you've got week 8 on the flip side where you only have 2 matchups in the SWAC. In addition to week 2, where there are no SWAC games.
Yeah, and I feel like week 8 is right in that middle of the season where, okay, everyone's going to take a chance to kind of evaluate.
And that's a lot of people's bye week, too.
Yeah, well, that's a good time to have it, right? People are going to evaluate where you are, what you've done, and then here we go down the stretch run. These last 3 games are going to make or break potentially what happens.
Midterm.
There you go. Exactly. That's our midterm show. So, yeah, a lot.
Wait, if that's our midterm show, is this a field trip? Is this field work? How would you classify this? Is this just a professional development conference? How do we classify this? So when we turn in our timesheet and our internships reports, how do we classify this?
Exploratory learning.
Exploratory learning. Okay.
I would agree with that.
Doc, love it. Love it. Okay, one of the other matchups, cross-division matchups, always key. Given the format, of course, East and the West, you're going to play the 5 teams in your conference, but who you play on the other side could somehow determine whether you win, because those games count just as much as, the 5 games. So, I mean, if you win those 5 in your East or West, and then you jump across to the other side and you lose, well, all of a sudden you become 5-3, and that could shape what happens. So as I looked at, now I didn't do.
Well, to your point, as you're thinking through that process, is your divisional games do not really become as important unless there's tiebreakers, right? Because the overall 8 games count towards your record. Right. But so those intra-divisional matchups become extremely important in terms of your overall record. But so it's fascinating to see how those play out.
One other thing, speaking of tiebreakers, when you have a 3-way tie, and then there's that common opponent that may be a cross-divisional opponent, that also may be the difference in a 3-way tie, where A beat B and B beat C and C beat A. You know how that goes.
Okay, so when we start thinking about, let's start on the eastern side, think about the western side. Now, the one caveat to all this is Jackson State this year actually plays 9 SWAC opponents, but only 8 of those are counting. So they do play 4 of the 5 or 4 of the 6 from the West. The one game that doesn't count is the Grambling State game. I believe that's week 3.
I believe, yes.
Week 3. I mean, just first off, think about that start for Jackson State. I mean, the Orange Blossom Classic in week 1, Tennessee State in week 2, and Grambling at home in week 3. I mean, that's a heck of a 1, 2, 3.
All except for Willie Simmons, but obviously in terms of what he brings to the table. But the other 3 coaches, in terms of they're all NFL
caliber
coaches or players in those matchups there. So it's going to be fascinating to see how that works out.
Definitely. And so Jackson State, they're home against Southern. They're on the road at Texas Southern and at Alcorn. The other school in the East that travels 2 of their 3 is Bethune-Cookman. They host Grambling, and then they're on the road at Prairie View, and then they're on the road at Alcorn.
Homecoming.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting.
They want a little payback in terms of what happened. Got a chance to catch up with Coach yesterday as you come in early. You purposely do that to kind of scout coaches again when you get them off the record and you talk to them on the table. And this is something I'm sure that he wouldn't mind sharing. When you talk to Coach, he didn't feel good about the way last season went. And so obviously you have all the things that people don't want to talk about in not playing that previous season. We talked about all the issues that were going on at Bethune-Cookman in terms of financially putting that team in a position to be successful. Well, that's not the case this year. So it's going to be interesting to see, do you get some bounce back from Bethune-Cookman? That's a program that has been strong, if not championship level, they've been strong. And so what do they bring back?
Dr. Cavill, you talking to 2 rattlers up here. There is nothing about Bethune-Cookman's program that you could tell us that Brian and I do not already know.
That's correct. I was talking to the people out there. I can tell when you're looking in your face, it's like, yeah, we know that.
But, they maybe can build on and their legacy and the program. Yeah. But Bethune-Cookman, big victory against Alcorn State. And one of our colleagues, Charles Edmond, talked about that a week before the game. He had a bad feeling about that game. And Bethune-Cookman pulls off the upset against Alcorn State.
In a lot of ways, a key victory from the standpoint that Prairie View ultimately lost on that late fumble that threw everybody out. But because of that Bethune-Cookman, among all the other games, it allowed Prairie View to have the 1-game lead versus being tied. and Alcorn would have had the tiebreaker. So
Yeah.
it's significant in terms of how they played out.
Right, that was huge.
And when we get to the prediction portion of it, excuse me, Rattlers, I'm going to say a few things about Bethune that may have some eyes turning when we get to the prediction portion of the show. I just want to throw that out.
Yeah, I'm already looking at you like, huh? What? Hey, how about this? Alabama A&M does not travel to any of their cross-divisional opponents. They host Grambling, host Texas Southern, and they actually play UAPB on a neutral site in St. Louis.
Hometown.
So, I don't know how you view the neutral site versus a true road game.
The other neutral site that I think is going to be advantageous for them is they play Jackson State
in Mobile.
Versus playing them in Jackson. Yeah. And so, obviously, you're in Alabama. But the biggest thing to me is you get out of Jackson without having to play there in that significant crowd that you think would have 30 or 40.
But one of my favorite trips, though, Veterans Memorial, Jackson, oh, man, just outstanding.
Let me say two things about those neutral site games for Alabama A&M. Ironically, for the people who live in Huntsville, it's actually a shorter trip to Jackson than it is to Mobile.
That's right.
So keep that in mind. And Jackson is closer to Mobile than Huntsville. So keep that in mind when you think about this. And then number two, the game in St. Louis, UAPB has drawn tremendously well in the various classics that have been played in St. Where is specifically in St. Louis. UAPB is almost the pseudo classic team for St. Louis. Two teams have played there more than anybody else in whatever the classic has been called, because it's changed names 2 or 3 times. UAPB and Tuskegee. And there have been times that those two have matched up in St. Louis, and those two are usually the two biggest draws in the St. Louis area.
Yeah, great point when you talk about that. It'll be interesting to see in terms of those matchups. Although you talk about the distance there, obviously you have many more fans of Alabama A&M in Mobile around that area. So it's going to be fascinating to see what that attendance looks like. Jackson State's going to travel.
Well, there are a lot of Jackson State people down there in that part along I-10 too. Just knowing.
It's more Alabama fans in southern Alabama than they are in Jackson, Mississippi.
Correct.
Where we played. So it creates an environment where you think they would have a lot of fans at their game. And we know how fans play a component of the matchups. You love to have, as a player, having your fans in the stands cheering you on. So it's going to be interesting to see what that looks like. Another game that's going to be fascinating to see, that's also a neutral site game announced recently, is Bethune-Cookman and Jackson. That's going down to Jackson instead of playing at home.
Yeah, and I think, and Brian brought this up, the fact that FAMU travels to Grambling that weekend, and I'll go ahead and get into it. I think Bethune is going to make some noise in the East, and I don't want to give away the result of the OBC, but I think a lot of FAMU fans may actually be rooting for Bethune against Jackson State, irregardless of who wins the OBC, to make sure that Jackson State gets knocked out of the mix. Because FAMU wins, they want Bethune to win so that they can get a bigger gap on Jackson State. Obviously, if Jackson State wins, they need Bethune to knock off Jackson State to bring FAMU back into the race. So I think there's going to be a lot of orange and green fans who are going to be undercover with the Wildcats on that one day only.
That sounds like Rattler Nation. They might do that. Jackson State, the cross divisions, right? They are traveling to Texas Southern, which was a tremendous game. Jackson State had to win that game in the fourth quarter last year. A lot of buzz, a lot of hype for Andrew Body leading that team this year. Curious, where might that game be played, or where's Texas Southern's playing all their games?
Except for homecoming, which they play on campus. They play at the formerly BBVA Compass Stadium. As you know, the stadium's changed their names every so often. Have some name rights. So it's changed. I can't think of it on top of my head. But that's the home that they share with the MLS soccer program, as well as the Dash and the Dynamo on the women's side there. So it holds about 22. Jackson has a good amount of alumni in Houston, greater area. We know they travel well. They are expected to be doing really well this season. So you imagine they have a lot of people that are having plans down there. Certainly they'll probably have some things that the Alumni Association in that area will do. So you expect a great crowd. It's going to be fascinating to see how that matches up with Texas Southern University. What you want to market and sell, I know what we're going to be talking about going in that, and there's just two young guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So Shador Sanders in terms of what he did, and obviously with Andrew Body
yeah.
coming in there. I had those two, obviously, Body in terms of finals for Big Ben Award.
Right.
Give for the player that plays at the HBCU that's connected with the state of Texas. You talk about that in Shador, so it's going to be fascinating in the way what that looks like. So I'm very interested in that matchup, at least from that perspective. Then obviously otherwise in terms of records.
In Jackson State, they host Southern, and then they're on the road to Alcorn. So that might be the toughest. If anybody's going to look at cross divisions and say what might cost a team, that those 3 games right there that Jackson State has to play might be your toughest 3. As I look at
that's also could
Eastern
be the beginning.
Division.
That also could be beginning of what many people would think is a precursor to a championship game. It could be played over.
Could,
in terms of Jackson State Southern, as well as the FAMU and Southern game. Those are other games. Or
Jackson
some
State,
people,
Alcorn,
Grambling, and FAMU.
Yeah.
Jackson and Alcorn. Those are some of the matchups based on how things roll out. Could be where you see an early matchup and then you get a rematch in the SWAC championship game.
Wouldn't it be ironic? Wouldn't it be ironic if the Jackson State Alcorn game determines the fate of about 3 or 4 teams? Because that's number one, that's a cross divisional game. Let's assume both those teams come in say 6-1 or in their on their side. So the winner wins East or West. The loser opens the door up for someone else to win.
To your point,
the East or West.
If Alcorn won last year, people remember Jackson State.
But Jackson State was in no win or lose at that point.
Right.
It was for Alcorn. What I'm saying is
I'm
both
saying
teams,
because of the game before that with Prairie View, it came down last year. If they'd won that game, they would have been tied with Prairie View. They would have had the rematch.
Right. But the game was. And I get your point, but I'm saying, but for Jackson State, the game was inconsequential. Jackson State had already had it wrapped it up.
Other side for Alcorn,
it mattered.
Won, they would have had a tied record with
Prairie View. Yeah.
They had the head-to-head matchup, so you would have got a rematch in terms of what that looked like.
Yeah.
So that game counted heavily in terms of who was going to play in the championship game. It was between Prairie View and Alcorn based on who won the game.
But I'm thinking that particular game is going to clearly knock someone out and vault the other person to the winner. Wins their division, loser goes home. Somebody else winds up representing in the. I think that game on that second to last Saturday, because you still have Turkey Day and Bayou, will be the game of the season in the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
AD like it's not enough pressure going into.
I'll give you a little hint
season.
in terms of my matchup. I don't have it mapped.
Wow. Okay. I want to see this.
Focusing on the western side now, what I found pretty interesting, obviously, quite a few of the schools are playing. Well, 4 of the 6 are playing 2 of their 3 on the road. Alcorn has the advantage of they travel to Mississippi. Yes, they travel to Mississippi Valley State. That's a rival. Okay, but then they host Bethune, and they host Jackson State. That's an advantage, I would think, for Alcorn overall. You get those teams in your stadium. Spinks Kasem, I think if I have the name correct of the stadium, which we've seen be an electric atmosphere for football. We've seen that on television, so I can expect those 2 home games to really be big.
It is tough to play there. You would agree with that, Dr. Cavill? And I definitely wouldn't know. I mean, it one of the top venues, atmosphere.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And when they're rolling, which they've had over over the last 6-7 years, seemed like the last decade. When they get to going, it's a tough place to come in there and get a victory.
Very tough.
Southern, of course, travels to Jackson State. They travel to FAMU, and they host Valley. Grambling travels to Bethune. Now I don't know if this, I may have wrote this wrong. I can't believe they would travel to Bethune and FAM. I think I may have wrote that wrong.
Who is that?
Grambling. Are they traveling? They're not. No, they're traveling to Alabama A&M. That's what it is. So they're hosting FAMU, traveling to Bethune, hosting Alabama A&M.
Yes.
Is what they're doing. And then, of course, Prairie View at Alabama State, at Mississippi Valley State, hosting Bethune.
I know it mentioned a little bit about Alcorn in terms of some of those non-conference games, FCS opponents. Another one to watch is Prairie Green. They have an opportunity to help the conference in terms of making a statement, alluding to earlier. They have Incarnate Word on the schedule. They have Lamar on the schedule, as well as Abilene Christian. So it's going to be fascinating to see what they're able to do. Two of those games are early in the season, and then you get a little midway through, and they get a surprise matchup with Lamar. So it's going to be fascinating what Prairie View is able to do in terms of those type of games, along with Alcorn that you mentioned earlier. When you talked about those matchups, kind of going back just a little bit.
Yeah.
But it plays into what you're saying with these divisional, interdivisional matchups in the conference games when we start breaking that. What does that look like, not only in terms of strength of schedule, but also in terms of the conference being able to make a statement in terms of where they are moving forward?
And to me, that's one of the most important. The last part that you said, when Alcorn, Stephen F. Austin, McNeese, and credit to Prairie View. Even when Coach Dooley was there, they have a history of playing those type of FCS teams from the Southland. So, I think those are the kind of games you have to play, and I may be in the minority of thinking on this, and win those type of games. It helps the conference overall.
Well, if you play them, I certainly think you have to win them. Mm-hmm. I'm always balanced between what works uniquely for the culture, where you are in terms of regionality, in terms of what you play. It helps in terms of Prairie View because they're out west. Right? Mm-hmm. It's going to be harder for them to bring in a MEAC team.
Right, I understand.
Because of just the distance. So credit that they play those games because they could line up on NIA programs, which they did as they were rebuilding the program. But over the last decade, as they like to be with the full scholarships, recruiting-wise, they're right there in the mix in terms of playing the Southland and now the WAC that is back in those matchups. So they've played it over the year. But a lot of that is just regionality and need to make schedules and matchups that they play those games versus if you're talking about like an Alabama A&M. Coach Maynard doesn't run for it, so he's able to do it with some of those teams. But there's other than playing in the OVC, it's a little more distance in terms of playing some of those teams. You might get a little more of it because you got the Atlantic Sun that is brought in football, so you can do it. But Alabama State, Bethune-Cookman and FAMU, they have the ability to play some of those MEAC teams now that become non-conference games. South Carolina State, maybe a North Carolina Central. To me, in terms of what that does for your home tennis, the relationship there, it makes sense that they play a little more of those games. Plus, they don't have the FCS number of teams in Florida. All those teams have moved up to one.
FBS.
1A, right?
Right.
FBS. So you got to also look at the regionality in terms of what are your options when you schedule the game. I know in Southern's case, you're right, that you're concerned about some of those non-conference games in terms of not being FCS.
Florida Memorial. Virginia Lynchburg, yes.
Because they have the option of Southland teams in that area. But on the first year, rebuilding the program, I'm sure that will change as you move forward. But to your point, I see where you're going at. Most importantly in your statement, when you do play them, we need you to win.
And recruiting-wise, I mean, you're recruiting against some of your FCS brethren, and then the state of Louisiana has a number of programs. To say it's not a population-wise a big population state. So,
well, taking a look at some of the non-conference games, I know kind of going off script a little bit, but Alabama A&M plays not one but two FBS programs this year, where they play Troy and Alabama Birmingham. So, like you say, on the flip side, you have a Southern who plays NAIA Florida Memorial
first game.
and NCCAA
Got enough C's in there?
I think I may have too many A's.
Virginia,
Virginia Lynchburg, and yes, Virginia Lynchburg is everybody's prom date this year for homecoming.
Ask you, how many?
But they're no stranger to the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
They're no stranger to anybody's
Yeah.
conference because they're a pseudo MEAC team this year because I think they played 5 of the 6 MEAC teams this year.
Let's get ready to take a break. I wanted to ask you, and I know you've charted this, and you brought it. We talked about playing what we call affectionately the HWCUs. So I don't know how many of those how many of them are on the schedule, because that is a big hurdle for the conference, especially over the last few years. So I don't know if you do a quick number and see how many of those games there are. FCS teams like that, not counting against the HBCUs, but just those. And then we come back, we can kind of chat on that. So we'll take a short break, come back. You're watching the BCSC and Game Time Show live at the SWAC Football Media Day right here on the Black College Sports Network and HBCU League Pass Plus.
You see, Head & Shoulders has scalp shield technology, protects against flakes even between washes. It's never not working.
Kind of like us. We're never not working. Number 15?
That's my rub.
Ooh, nice.
Never not working.
Never, ever, never, ever not working.
Welcome, everybody, to Juneau, Alaska.
I don't like this one.
Me neither.
Let's get out of here.
Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head & Shoulders scalp shield technology.
Some carriers will give you just one measly entertainment subscription. One is no fun. With Verizon, there's up to 7 entertainment subscriptions with your unlimited plan. That's 7 times the... 7 times the... No. 7 times the... Music, gaming, Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Plus, and more. That's 7 times the entertainment! Because everyone deserves better. And with plans starting at just $35, better costs less than you think.
At CDW, we get speed as the new currency of success.
Our team spends way too much time tending to outdated applications and software when they should be focused on driving application agility and innovation.
CDW Amplified Development Services modernizes software and application development to help accelerate innovation and digital transformation.
So you mean building new applications, UI, and mobile interfaces?
Well, you said you needed to innovate more quickly.
Oh, so he's a listener.
To do more at scale, trust CDW Amplified Development Services.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
Oh, that spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat. Ooh, yeah, that's nice.
Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure.
It's wireless.
Pick something we all like.
Okay, hold on. What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
Buick Envision 2021.
Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable.
That's a really tight spot. Don't worry, I used to hate parallel parking. Me too.
Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you, all of you.
Time to call it credit.
Welcome back to the BCSN Game Time Show, live here in Birmingham, Alabama, SWAC Football Media Day. We are probably 15 minutes away from the show starting, and then, obviously Dr. McClellan will give his opening statements. They'll do the photo op of all the coaches as the 220 members of the media are filing in. I think the players and coaches are here as well, and after they start that cycle, we will sort of jump in and do our various interviews with coaches and players, of course, from the various shows. Prediction time. Prediction time that we're all looking for. Let's start here. I'm going to start here with a bold prediction. So I want to go left to right, starting with you, Drew. I want you to give me a bold prediction for this upcoming. But again, this is bold, so don't be scared to jump out there with a parachute and be bold here. Bold prediction, Drew. What do you got?
My bold prediction on that third Saturday in November, Jackson State, FAMU, and Bethune-Cookman will be in contention for the SWAC East, where the winner of the Florida Classic will be waiting, and I don't remember which game starts first, on the winner of the Jackson State Alcorn game. So those two games will determine both races.
Bold prediction. Wow, Drew. That's strong. That's strong. All right, what do you got, Carlos?
It's going to be a simple one. Bayou Classic. Southern puts up 50 points.
Whoa.
That is a bold, yeah.
That is bold.
Because
that's bold with hot sauce.
This rivalry is really intense. It has been upped 150 degrees.
Carlos,
that's bold,
man.
That's a bold one.
Yeah.
And he wants to be careful, but I can say it. And a lot of that is because of some of the recruiting trails.
Oh, yeah.
Things that have
Well, Dr.
happened.
Cavill, I'll be objective, Dr. Cavill.
In the way they have. That's why we're going to let you allow you to have to say it, because I don't want them, they can come
the emotions,
and get me in my lecture. But because of how some things have happened on the recruiting trails, we'll say it at least at that level, has made it intensify with the coaches.
That is
fascinating.
That is an understatement.
All right, Doc. Bold prediction. Who do you got?
Bold prediction is going to be the game between Alabama A&M and Jackson State and Mobile. I think that's going to be the one that's going to you're going to see as an upset in a lot of people's eyes. And why it's going to be very bold when you break down these predictions. I'm going to show you what that does to the finish of the regular season based on that matchup.
All right, my bold prediction, I gave one of them out yesterday, that somebody will come out winless in conference play, okay?
Whoa.
I've got a feeling someone will come up winless, and I'm doing that based off my matrix, my scheduling, not necessarily, Drew, our predictive analysis. So I want you to know that. I'm telling you a little inside secret there. And the other thing I'll say, bold prediction, nobody will have 9 overall wins. I'm going there. I think 8 is a max number.
9 overall wins?
9 overall wins. I think nobody will have 9 overall.
No double digits.
That is bold.
Going into double digits. By when all
going into both championship games.
Going into the championship game, nobody will be sitting there at 9 or 10.
11-1.
Right. Nobody will be sitting there that strong.
10-1.
I have just the opposite of that.
Okay.
Another bold one I put in. I have a team that's going to have 10 wins.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I'm
going to go the opposite.
Okay.
So since we're going back around the horn, did you want to go first? Since we're going back around the horn,
another bold prediction.
Look, that's Drew. Look, Drew. See, come on, Drew. All right, let's get the
two teams.
real quick. Come on, because we got to go to predictions here. Time is ticking.
Look, I think there's going to be so much parity in the SWAC this year that a 5-3 record will win one side or the other in the SWAC, and I really don't think anyone will do better on either side better than a 6-2 record. I think there's that much parity in the SWAC this year.
Okay. Let's get the bold conference predictions. Sorry, producers looking at me like, how you just did that segment. Predictions overall. Now, I don't know. What do we have graphics for? Do we have East? Okay, let's go East predictions. These are our East predictions. We do have graphics here. Oh, man, you guys. The predicted order of finish in the SWAC East.
I'm not a homer.
Yeah, so it looks like between Carlos, AD, Doc, Charles, and Mike Washington, all going with Jackson State this year. I will be the lone wolf picking FAMU. Now, this doesn't mean
Is that because you do the ONG strike zone? Just go ahead and tell the truth.
This is because I have FAMU beating Jackson State and OBC. Now, I don't know about the rest of you guys. I don't know if that plays out. I don't know. Anybody want to share?
Yeah. I actually have Jackson State beating FAMU.
I'm done with you, Carlos.
But FAMU gonna come back.
You know what? My prediction says Jackson State in the East, of course, but I would not be surprised if FAMU finishes first. But the Orange Blossom Classic, I think FAMU gets.
Okay.
Yeah, I have Jackson State beating FAMU in that matchup.
Okay.
But what my matrix where it gets interesting, I actually have a three-way tie for first place in the East.
Wow.
With 3 teams ending the season at 7-1, and all of them essentially beat each other.
Jackson
State beating FAMU in the Orange Blossom Classic. I have FAMU at home defeating Alabama A&M, but I have Alabama A&M beating Jackson State in Mobile. The thing that I'll talk about there is the last thing I want to add is I got Jackson State getting the tiebreaker because they will have the highest ranking in the top 25 poll because they'll be at 10-1 for the full season.
All right. A question: is there any common opponent? What tiebreaker is there with the ranking? Because I know there's a pecking order. Obviously, throw head-to-head out with a three-way.
And then you go into the matchup, the second and third one, where you get into poll rankings is like the third tiebreaker. Essentially, that's what it would get to because they all beat each other.
Okay, that's right. That's what I was trying to figure out. Number 3.
What's interesting, Doc, you mentioned having 3 teams tied at 7-1. I've actually got FAMU winning by 2 games over Jackson State and Alabama State there in second. I noticed a lot of us.
What do you have them finishing? 6-2 or
5-3 actually.
5-3.
5-3.
And so you have Jackson State finishing
5-3. 5-3.
Along with you have them tied.
I have exactly. I have Jackson and Alabama State at 5-3, and I think the tiebreaker is I have Jackson State beating Alabama State, and that's why I have JSU at 2.
Brian, if that doesn't go right, you'll feel the wrath.
Look, we already know. I've dealt with it for.
I'm on the wrath for a year.
I'm on 340 something days of dealing with this. So I mean, look, I can't. I please come on, OBC.
We had 9 years of dealing with Bethune.
Yeah, so I'm prepared.
That year is nothing, Joe.
I'm prepared for that. All right, let's jump over to the West real quick and let's look at our West predictions. This should be interesting. Okay. Let's see. Carlos going
even
with
split.
Southern. Drew going with Alcorn. I'm going with Alcorn. Doc with Southern. Charles with Alcorn. And Mike with Southern. Interesting. So 3-3 there between Southern and Alcorn. That's our predictions.
I think that second place spot by
AD
as well.
That's interesting, Drew.
Texas Southern finishing second.
Wow, you guys were looking on each other's paper there. For your top threes are very similar.
And I'm gonna say this. I'm going back to that Jackson State Alcorn game. Obviously, the winner first of all, the winner of the Labor Day Classic is going to have a leg up in the West. I think Texas Southern gets them. If Texas Southern gets anything on defense to go with that high-powered offense they had, they're going to be like Alabama A&M was 2 years ago when Glass was just all over the place in the SWAC. They got it on offense and they had just enough defense to go ahead and win it. That's what I see Texas Southern as number 1. But going back to that game, Alcorn loses that game, it could open the door for a Texas Southern to be the representative of the West in the championship game.
To your point, what's interesting, that first 4 weeks, you'll find out about Texas Southern because they play Prairie View and Southern in the first 4 weeks.
Exactly. They'll either be in or out by October.
And it's funny you say that because I've got Texas Southern winning 3 of those 4 in the SWAC starting off. What's your margin there? What's your margin there? I've got Alcorn winning by 2 games in the West. What's your matrix?
I have Southern winning by 1 game.
Okay.
Overall record is 6-2, but they finished 5-0 in the division. But 2 of their crossovers, which you talked about early in the segment, that's where they got their losses in there. But I see a matchup between Jackson State and Southern in the championship game. I have Alcorn finishing game back at 5-3. Then the bottom falls out in terms of Texas Southern.
Based on your championship matchup, who do you have winning it, Drew?
Obviously, I went with Alcorn.
Over Jackson in the championship
Oh,
game.
I'm sorry. We talking about the
We're talking about
championship
East versus
game.
West, based on your predictions.
I'm going to go with Jackson State in a instant classic.
Okay, Carlos.
Southern and Jackson State, of course, and they'll play twice. Well, and if I'm wrong, I'll come back and
I'm
say
good
it.
with you.
Oh, you will, but I just like the confidence in it. You said, of course.
Well,
did you expect him to say anybody but Southern?
Well.
No, I did not, but I didn't expect him to say, of course.
But then we have a couple of colleagues here that agree with me, so that's great. But
not on the island this year, Carlos.
Southern and Jackson State. Question is quickly, where will the game be played? Will Southern visit Veterans Memorial for the second time, or will it be at AW?
And that's based on what? Again, is that
who has the best overall record? And then there's some tiebreakers.
They use the same tiebreakers.
Mine, I have 7-1, as I said, for Jackson State, and Southern is 6-2. So therefore, it would be in Jackson. To your point, if it's tied, then the tiebreaker would be head-to-head. So if they both finish at 7-1. And that loss is Southern winning that game on the road, then they would host the championship game. But I have Jackson State hosting.
October 29th, my birthday.
Circle that date. Circle
Southern
that date.
At Jackson State.
You talked about that a few times.
Somebody's got to make me happy.
Wait a minute. Don't be surprised if Dr. Cavill just goes to work for the SWAC championship game, because there's a chance it may be played in Houston, Texas, where Texas Southern may be the host.
Doc, what do you your championship game outcome?
I have Jackson State winning, getting it done in a nail biter over Southern at home, and I give the edge because they are in Mississippi Memorial Stadium.
All right,
I get a chance to go back to the Celebration Bowl and see if they can get it right this year.
All right, I'm already on wax. I've already said it last night. FAMU Alcorn, but it will be. I'm gonna say it be in Bragg Stadium. Overall, I'm going with FAMU having overall best record amongst all the teams. It'll be close, though, because I got to think, if both teams finish with 8 wins, which is what I'm predicting, where's the next tie break go? Because Alcorn and FAMU don't play each other.
Well, then the next one goes, the third one is, what is your ranking in the FBS?
Oh, wow.
Which is what I said, why I got Jackson State edging them up. Because they start higher, and they're not going to have
real quick,
one
15 seconds.
I would say preseason, that would give FAMU the advantage over Alcorn, because they're right now they're ranked higher than Alcorn.
That's what you want to keep. The last thing I want to say real quick is FCS playoffs. I have FAMU and Alabama A&M finishing 8-3. Does that give them a chance to get back into the playoffs?
Yeah, that's interesting. All right,
you gotta beat them in the regular season when you play them.
That's our morning show, and we're gonna pause and go to the live Dr. McClellan and that information that he'll share, and that'll be actually you go to ESPN Plus to see that, and then we will be back. Okay, that's coming up at when?
At the top.
Okay, so at 11 o'clock Central, that's 11 o'clock Central, noon Eastern. No, that's when he's on stage. I don't. Look. Okay, so we'll have Coach Simmons
coming back
soon.
after the break.
After the extended break, we'll talk to Coach Simmons. But if you want to go catch Dr. McClellan's opening, you can go do that. Put up two screens, 2 monitors. You guys know how to do it.
One on the iPad, one on the PC, the other one on the big screen in the living room.
Let's get out of here. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, watching us on Facebook, YouTube, wherever you are. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, like button. Go share. Let people know the Black College Sports Network has you covered. Make sure you can also find us on HBCU League Pass Plus. All right. That's going to be it for this segment. Let's go to a break. We'll be back on the BCSN Game Time Show.
Company to fix my credit. Hold the phone, man. You can do it yourself with Credit Versio. That's way too hard. Call the credit repair company. Most credit repair companies only work on 1 or 2 accounts at a time, making it slow and expensive. You won't figure that out for months. Ignore him. Credit Versio's brilliant software scans all 3 credit bureaus, finds the accounts that are hurting your score, and guides you through the entire process. Anyone can do it. Let's fast forward and see the results. Wow, I fixed my own credit and saved hundreds. You can do this. Visit creditversio.com.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m. Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
Oh, we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta. For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992 or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com. For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, authentic Caribbean cuisines.
Open up the door, tell your mama hungry.
The new GMC Sierra with hands-free driving offers the most advanced and luxurious pickup in its class. Yeah, it rocks.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again. This is Always Ultra Thins reinvented with the Always Triple Protection System. This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with the totally reinvented Always Ultra Thins. This is always like never before.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
Charmin Ultra Soft has so much cushiony softness, it's hard for your family to remember they can use less.
Sweet pillows of softness.
This is soft. Holy Charmin. Oh, excuse me. Roll it back, everybody. Sorry.
Charmin Ultra Soft is so cushiony soft, you'll want more, but it's so absorbent, you can use less, so it's always worth it.
Now, what did we learn about using less? You gotta roll it back, everybody.
We all go, why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
Welcome back to BCSN Game Time Show live here, SWAC Football Media Day. Brian Fulford, it's a pleasure to be joined by my coach, my head coach Willie Simmons, head coach, Florida A&M University. Coach, how you doing this morning?
Doing amazing. Great to be here at SWAC Media Day, start of football season.
You're a veteran of these. You've now the second time as the head rattler. What are some of the, I've had people ask me and say, what is Coach like at these media days? Is he excited? Is he calm, reserved? And I'm going to let you tell it, but what is media day like for you in this environment? And as you've seen it grow from your time as a previous head coach at Prairie View to coming to FAM, this has gotten larger.
Oh, no question. Media day is always an exciting time because, again, it's the official kickoff of the new season. You get a chance to rub elbows with your peers, the other head coaches in the league, get a chance to see some of the marquee players in the conference, and again, just gives us a chance to really sell our programs and get everyone excited about football. So I'm always anxious to come to the media day and excited to get it started, but the SWAC does a great job of putting this event on.
Now we get a chance to talk about you and the program on the O&G Strike Zone a lot, but for people watching us now, let people know what has the spring and summer been like for the program.
Well, our guys have worked extremely hard. They've really bought into our program philosophy. The culture is strong. I really enjoy being around them every day. Just seeing the work they put in, seeing their bodies transform. What they do in the classroom, out in the community. It's a great group to be around. So again, the spring was great. They had 15 great spring practices, and summer conditioning has been amazing. So we're geared up for what we expect to be an amazing season. Led by the nation's best defensive player in Isaiah Land and Xavier Smith, one of the premier wide receivers in the country at any level, and then a plethora of guys that we've been able to bring into the fold. So, excited about this season. We're looking forward to getting started in a week.
Now, obviously, both of those, Isaiah and Xavier, are here, and we'll talk to them in just a moment with AD. One of the things that I know Xavier shared with us last night, and I think even Kendall and BJ, when we had them on our show, is the player accountability right now is really high. What does that speak to? What does that say when you're able to see guys talk about they're holding each other accountable. They're really managing things, and they're taking great instruction from you and the staff. But you guys it's them right now. They're the ones handling things in the off season.
Well, I think any great football team has great leadership from within. That's something that we talk to our guys about a lot. We're raising future leaders of tomorrow, out in the real world. And so what better way to start that than by, leading your peers within the locker room. And so, again, I attribute that to guys like Xavier Smith, Isaiah Land, Chris Dooley, Brian Crawford, guys that have been in this program for 4 and 5 years that have really, really bought into what our program philosophy is. When we speak about 7 Fs, they know what that means. And then any newcomer that comes into the program, be it a high school signee or transfer, those guys immediately walk into a locker room of accountable teammates. They want to make sure that we're doing the right things every single day because we know that those little things are really the difference between winning and losing.
This season, there are plenty of guys on this roster who have been a part of the last 2 seasons, 9-win seasons, and it almost I'm not taking credit for this. I think this is somebody else that takes credit for this, but it almost feels like a last dance kind of thing with this group of redshirt seniors and seniors who have been here 5-6 years in the program. I don't know if do you feel a sense of that, or what do the players? It seems like the players feel that because their level of work has gone up a notch. But when you look at this group, do you get a sense of that? I feel like Rattler Nation feels that, but what do you feel, or should we just focus on another season?
Well, again, you got a guy like Xavier Smith who made at the time, a huge decision to return for his 6th year, and Xavier has already graduated. Xavier's done enough to show NFL scouts and personnel that he's a player at that level. But he felt he had unfinished business. That last game in Hammond, Louisiana left a sour taste in all of our mouths. And so we wanted to come back, with a vengeance. We wanted to come back with something to prove. When you look at last season, 1 point away, from having a chance to be SWAC champions and Celebration Bowl, champions. And so these guys understand it. They know that the expectation level at Florida A&M is through the roof. And we want to be number 1. So, again, these guys have made a commitment to come back and make this year the year that we all envision it being. And that means the level of commitment has been an all-time high. The accountability, as you spoke of, has been an all-time high. And that's what I've seen from this group.
Just earlier this week, FAMU, courtesy of the 220 Club in Tallahassee, brought in a new cooling container, if I'm saying it correctly. Talk a little bit about and I think we are the first HBCU to have that, and there are schools at the Power 5 level that are using that. Talk a little bit about that advantage and how that will help during this upcoming camp, which starts, I believe, the 29th, right?
Right. Yeah, so, of course, anyone who's been to Tallahassee, or if you've been, if had your eyes open, it's extremely hot, right? And so, I mean, the temperatures get upwards to, high 90s. The heat index is even in the hundreds. The humidity level is extremely high. And so, again, player safety is always our number one concern, more so than winning, even more so than graduating, because a coach's worst fear is to have a player have to be taken to the hospital because of some heat-related illness. And so when we talked to Eddie Jackson, the president of the 220 Quarterback Club, about our concerns with this heat that we're facing, he did some research. He found Mr. Boudreaux and his cooling system. It's a system that many Power 5 programs use, as you alluded to. And he went on a mission to raise the money to get it done. In a short time, we were able to secure the funds, and they delivered the trailer, earlier this week. And we're excited about it. It's going to give our guys a chance to immediately cool their core body temperatures down and be able to get, not necessarily get through practice, but it's going to cut down on the full body cramps. It's going to cut down on the ice baths right after practice, where you got to submerge a guy immediately to get his core temperature down. We're able to do that throughout practice, and I think it's going to go a long way in preserving our guys' bodies and giving them the best chance to be the most optimal self throughout this season.
Congratulations again to the program. Thank you again. Congratulations to the 220 Club. Great job there. Before I turn it over to Drew with Isaiah and Xavier, everyone here at SWAC is going to be focused on the first conference game of the year, but that's not our first game of the season. Our first game of the season, week 0, at North Carolina, traveling to Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Talk a little bit about that opponent, an ACC opponent, and how that sets the table for what comes after.
Well, we're excited about being able to open the season on national television against the University of North Carolina. This is kind of dubbed the GOAT game, so to speak. You got North Carolina, the flagship Jordan school, going up against FAMU, the flagship LeBron James school. So it's that old who's the GOAT. So we're going to try to sell it on the football field for a basketball discussion. But, again, we're very excited about it. Every year we play a guarantee game against a group of 5, a Power 5 opponent. And this year, we get North Carolina. So, again, it gives guys like Isaiah Land and Xavier Smith a chance to, go up against what's perceived to be the highest level of collegiate football, which is Power 5. So I know that this is a game that they're very excited about, but it's also a game that we're excited about as a program, and our fans can be, excited about. So kind of gives us a quote-unquote preseason type game before we start conference play the next week against Jackson State. But again, we're looking forward to going to Chapel Hill, and FAMU's no stranger to making, to going in and beating Power 5 schools. We've done that in our history, and we're going to go and try to make sure we can make lightning strike twice.
Amen. All right, Coach, I appreciate your time. Thanks for all of your accessibility, not only with the ONG, but with the Black College Sports Network. I'm going to turn it over now to AD, who's going to be with Xavier Smith and Isaiah Land. Floor is yours. Go ahead, Drew.
AD Drew here with Isaiah Land and Xavier Smith. And while they were over there talking about that new hot box that you guys got, cold box that you guys got on campus, we was kind of sitting over here talking about that Tallahassee heat. And I was telling them about my freshman year walking them hills in Tallahassee, how I wore out a pair of hard bottom shoes, pair of Stacy Adams. Not like these were some cheap hard bottom shoes, wore a hole in them, with the heel out and the toe out in those things. So, but welcome to the show, gentlemen. Talk about training in that heat in Tallahassee. We know it gets well over 100 degrees during this time of the year. You guys in camp. So talk about that advantage that may give you guys when you go into some of those early season matchups, especially when you're playing teams that are not used to that type of climate that we're used to in Tallahassee.
It prepares you for a game of 4 quarters. A game is always won, and all 4 quarters is not won at the beginning.
Somebody let her fly to the doggone press conference. Everybody trying to get into this press conference.
But, yeah, like I was saying, it prepares you for a game of 4 quarters, and, you can see it pay off. You can see the hard work that we put in that sun. You can see it pay off every game when we run in tempo, when we run in fast pace. You see teams, they passing out, they throwing up on the field, and, we still going. We still rolling. We still on go. We still on go. And, that's just a testament to, the hard work Coach Simmons them prepares for in that sun. So, like I said, it's a 4-quarter game, and, it just makes the game easy when those guys tired and we still got another level we could reach.
Go ahead, Zay.
Well, not being from Florida, like coming from Georgia, we during football season, we got kind of mild weather. So when I first came to Tallahassee in the summer, it was like I can't even see, I can't breathe right now. I can't imagine putting a helmet on.
You could see the heat coming off the ground.
Yeah,
it was so hot.
I used to be like, how am I gonna put a helmet and shoulder pads on in this heat? So, but I noticed we used to play I remember North Carolina Central came down for our homecoming, and he talking to the ref. It's the first quarter. He it's hot out here. He got his legs crossed. He got his hands on his hips. And I feel normal because we practice at 3:30 every day. So we in the smack heat. Coach we don't want no shade. It's right in the middle of the sky. So we last longer than anybody in that heat. I kind of like when we play in the heat because I know we got the advantage. And mild weather is probably an even playing field. But if we in the heat, we got the advantage every time. We feel like a normal practice.
Now, you two guys, along with a lot of other people in the SWAC that are here on Media Day, have NFL aspirations, and not just a dream, but your goal is well within reach for both of you guys. Some of you guys stay healthy and have another breakout season like you've had for the last 2 to 3 years. But fellas, I got to ask you, and I need y'all to be honest with me. How do y'all top what y'all did last year? I mean, Xavier, you led the team. You led the team in catches. You also played on special teams. Did a few things, kickoff return and punt return. And then Mr. Sackmaster over here. I mean, 19 sacks, or was it 19 and a half? All right, 19. I couldn't remember whether you got credit for a half a sack or not. I mean, number one, how do you go in and repeat those type numbers? And let's be real, everybody got film on you. Everybody knows your name, not only in this conference but throughout FCS. So you're gonna see double, triple teams. You're gonna see one safety over the top, linebacker underneath. You're gonna see all different type of things. How do you go through and prepare your thing? You got to change your game to stay ahead of the game without changing who you are.
For me, it's easy because I'm going to keep working and I'm going to just work hard. And I know God will make a way regardless of, the situation, regardless of what defenses try to do. And I'm going to just continue to work. And, I got great coaches behind me, Coach Simmons, Coach Henry, Coach JB, those guys. I know they'll come up with schemes. I know they'll come up with ways to, get me the ball. And not only get me the ball, but when other guys continue to make plays, they can't just focus on me. They got to focus on everybody, and that'll open up doors for everybody to make plays. So for me, like I just said, it's easy. I'm going to keep working. I'm going to keep grinding. If I could open up ways to get other people the ball, then I do that. And then when they start succeeding, that'll just open up doors for me to be able to make plays as well.
Well, for me, going into last season, I told the team, the day before Jackson State game, I said, this season I'm not focused on stats because coming out of 2019 season, I had 2 sacks. And every play I got on the field, I'm trying to make a play. And, that's what made me play worse. I'm trying to make a play every play instead of doing my job. So 2021, I just went into the game literally just doing my 111. Coach always talk about that on defense. We do our 111. And
explain that to everybody, what a 111 is.
So if I got the edge and my brother got the B gap, if I'm setting the edge and I see the running back bouncing the B gap, I'm not going in the B gap because I know he's going to be there. I trust that he's going to be there. And if the running back bounce out into the C gap, I'm going to be there. But if I'm worried about my brother not doing his job, I'm going to go in the B gap, and now we both in the B gap. Now the running back bounces to the C gap, and he run for 30 yards. So it's just all about doing your job. So this season, I remember last season, all offseason, I had a chip on my shoulder working out. My hardest part of this offseason after the 2021 season was just getting myself going because I naturally always had a chip on my shoulder. But now, after the 2021, everybody was believing in me. Before, nobody believed in me. So it was easy to work hard. It was easy to go in there and go with my hardest because I had a chip on my shoulder. But then once I proved myself, it's I still got to keep going, So I just try to find new ways to motivate myself. And, for me, I feel like just having a consistent game, it's not really about trying to beat 19 sacks. I just want to show that I could play good football all season. I want to be able to play just as good in UNC as I play against Jackson State or Alabama State or Bethune-Cookman. So I just want to show consistency this year. I know they're gonna try to double team me, so I'm not gonna really chase stats. That's like an empty dream right there. So I just want to get pressure to the quarterback and just help my brother stop the run, and then that's all I'm focused on this season.
All right, now we know both you guys had opportunities to probably play professional, had opportunities to into the portal and go elsewhere, and all other kind of people in your ear telling you, Isaiah, you need to do this, Zay, you need to do this, and everything like that. But you guys made a decision to come back and do this one last dance. And now Coach Simmons said you guys felt like you had some unfinished business. And that's all fine. And as a Rattler, I appreciate you guys deciding to come back and finish your business. But I want to go deeper inside the decision. What were some of the things that you really, when you sat down with your family and made the decision, okay, I need to stay in Tallahassee for one additional year? What were some of the things that went inside that decision-making process for you?
I would say before I ever came to FAMU, I always set certain goals, and one goal I set was to leave here with a national championship, and I haven't completed that goal yet. So before I leave here, I want to leave here with that national championship, and it's like I look at all of those guys on that team as my little brothers, and before I leave, I wanted to set a standard. I wanted to set something that everybody could follow. So when I come back to FAMU 10 years from now, I could look back and say, man, they still got it going. They still doing the same things that I set or that we set while we was here. So that was really the main thing that I really just said. I wanted a foundation, and we building that right now, and hopefully 10 years from now, we could all come back and say, yeah, man, those guys did that. Those guys laid that foundation down, and I'm going to look back and say those my little brothers, and they still keeping it going.
Well, for me, it was the only reason I really considered the transfer portal because, like, I felt like at the next level, they don't really respect our level of football. And, like, people were still trying to say, like, well, I go look online and I look up the top 50 players in the country that play defense, and I'm not even there because I don't play FBS football. And I just felt like I had more to prove. But then I sat down to talk with my family, and it's like my whole life I've been trying to prove something to somebody when I really just need to prove it to myself. So I really I didn't want to jeopardize leaving and going and playing with some new kids who I don't know. And to us, like, our whole time being at FAMU, we feel like they spoil you. So, like, I didn't want to go up there. I want to stick with my brothers my last year. When I go to the NFL and I walk across that stage, it's going to feel good because I ain't got $100,000, like them boys in big schools. So I just wanted to finish my last year with my brothers. I remember one of my teammates was like, you really want to play your last game with some dudes you don't even know? Like, my last game of college football, I want to be able to hug my brothers and be like, we did it, So I just didn't want to. So a wise man told me if you could be bought, you could be sold. So the only thing I'm missing up there is some money. I'm gonna have some money in my life. So I'm gonna just play good football. I love the game of football. I love playing with my brothers. So that's bigger than me than playing at Georgia and stuff like that. Because we all gonna end up in the same place when we get that NFL jersey on.
There you go. All right, last question I got for you guys. You did not win the conference last year. Obviously, we know first game is probably one of the, if we don't win the first game, you still do it, but it's going to be a tough uphill because you got to wait on everybody else in order to do something. No one helped you out last year. But you did have the caveat of making it to the playoffs, but as a team, we did not do well in the playoffs. So given the ups and downs of last year, what are your expectations? What are your goals? And what's going to make FAMU has a successful season if this year? What happens this year?
Being more disciplined. Just honing in on just being more disciplined. Like last year, if you look at the SWAC, who led the SWAC in penalties, it was FAMU. So that cost you games. That 1 point that cost us a game. Discipline, jumping outsides, false starts, you know, when you supposed to set the edge, you don't do it. Block field goal. You know, things like that, that'll cost you losses. So even in the Southeastern Louisiana game, it was just discipline. Guys getting out of gaps. I was dropping balls. It was just little small things like that. And, you know, we clean that up this year. We'll handle what we got to handle.
Yeah, I feel like it's discipline and accountability. Like this year, this whole offseason, we already knew we had talent. We knew we had talent since 2019 when we won 9 games, and we won 9 games again. So the only thing that's going to change this year is literally leadership and discipline. We have the same amount of talent, if not more, and we got even more experience as the years go on. I feel like as long as we don't beat ourselves, we could win every game. I feel like every game we lost, we beat ourselves in some way. That when they scored Jackson State, I jumped off sides in 4th and 3, 4th and 2. That would have never happened. And we got a targeting call that same drive. So, like, I feel like it's just a discipline thing and, like, a conscious effort to make sure everybody's, like, on point, paying attention to the small things. Because we got all the big things. We got talent, we got speed, we got strength, we got size now. It's about the little things like discipline, paying attention to the small details of football is what's going to put us over the edge.
Any last words to Rattler Nation?
Fan, I love thee.
Yes, sir. We coming for the SWAC this year, Celebration Bowl, all that.
And I'm going to borrow this from the ONG strike zone. Rattlers will strike, and strike again.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And with that, as we strike again, we are going to take a break. What do we have coming up next, producer? Okay, we just going to take a break and just stay tuned because I have no idea what's coming up next, but we got something coming up next for my fellow Rattlers. Appreciate you, brother. All right. We'll be back right here on the Black College Sports Network and HBCU League Pass Plus.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
That's a pretty tight spot.
Watch this.
Of course your Buick parks itself. That's so you.
It's just up here on the right.
Of course you know where we're going. That's so you.
Kinda got a 6th sense.
And a head-up display.
They're here.
Hit the field, warm up. You brought all these players in your Buick?
Yeah.
So you.
It is.
There's a Buick that fits your life because at the heart of every Buick SUV is you.
Are you ready? It's time. The inaugural Urban NerdCon is coming to Montgomery, Alabama, July 29th through the 31st. Blurs, nerds, and geeks from across the universe will converge on the capital city to see celebrity guests such as The Last Dragon, Tybach, Megan Tandy, and voice actor Dave Fennoy.
Hey, how you doing? I'm voice actor Dave Fennoy with a shout out to all my geeks, freaks, and urban nerds. Just want to let you know I'm going to be there and I want to meet you at the Urban NerdCon Gaming and Cosplay event. It's happening July 29th through the 31st in Montgomery, Alabama. Hope you want to meet me as much as I want to meet you.
So join us by visiting theurbannerdcon.net for ticket and vendor information. This will be the premier blurred event in the universe. TheUrbanNerdCon.net. Our heroes, our villains, our stories, everyone's con. See you there.
You see, Head & Shoulders has scalp shield technology, protects against flakes even between washes. It's never not working.
Kind of like us. We're never not working. Number 15?
That's my rub.
Ooh, nice.
Never not working.
Never, ever, never, ever not working.
Welcome everybody to Juneau, Alaska.
I don't like this one.
Me neither.
Let's get out of here.
Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head & Shoulders scalp shield technology. Some carriers will give you just one measly entertainment subscription. One is no fun. With Verizon, there's up to 7 entertainment subscriptions with your unlimited plan. That's 7 times the... 7 times the... No. 7 times the...
Music, gaming, Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Plus, and more. That's 7 times the entertainment.
Because everyone deserves better. And with plans starting at just $35, better costs less than you think.
At CDW, we get speed as the new currency of success.
Our team spends way too much time tending to outdated applications and software when they should be focused on driving application agility and innovation.
CDW Amplify Development Services modernizes software and application development to help accelerate innovation and digital transformation.
So you mean building new applications, UI, and mobile interfaces?
Well, you said you needed to innovate more quickly.
Oh, so he's a listener.
To do more at scale, trust CDW Amplify Development Services.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
Oh, that spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat.
Ooh, yeah, that's nice. Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless.
Pick something we all like. Okay, hold on. What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
Buick Envision 2021.
Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable.
That's a really tight spot. Don't worry, I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you. All of you.
Time to call a credit repair company to fix my credit. Hold the phone, man. You can do it yourself with Credit Versio. That's way too hard. Call the credit repair company. Most credit repair companies only work on 1 or 2 accounts at a time, making it slow and expensive. You won't figure that out for months. Ignore him. Credit Versio's brilliant software scans all 3 credit bureaus, finds the accounts that are hurting your score, and guides you through the entire process. Anyone can do it. Let's fast forward and see the results. Wow, I fixed my own credit and saved hundreds. You can do this. Visit creditversio.com.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food? Like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m. Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
Oh, we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta. For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992 or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com. For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, authentic Caribbean cuisines.
Open up the door, tell them mama hungry.
The new GMC Sierra with hands-free driving offers the most advanced and luxurious pickup in its class. Yeah, it rocks.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again. This is Always Ultra Thins reinvented with the Always Triple Protection System. This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with the totally reinvented Always Ultra Thins. This is always like never before.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
Charmin Ultra Soft has so much cushiony softness, it's hard for your family to remember they can use less.
Sweet pillows of softness.
This is soft. Holy Charmin. Oh, excuse me. Roll it back, everybody. Sorry.
Charmin Ultra Soft is so cushiony soft, you'll want more. But it's so absorbent, you can use less. So it's always worth it.
Now, what did we learn about using less? You gotta roll it back, everybody.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
That's a pretty tight spot.
Watch this.
Of course your Buick parks itself. That's so you.
It's just up here on the right.
Of course you know where we're going. That's so you.
Kinda got a sixth sense.
And a head-up display.
They're here.
Hit the field, warm up. You brought all these players in your Buick?
Yeah.
So you.
It is.
There's a Buick that fits your life, because at the heart of every Buick SUV is you.
Are you ready? It's time. The inaugural Urban NerdCon is coming to Montgomery, Alabama, July 29th through the 31st. Blurs, nerds, and geeks from across the universe will converge on the capital city to see celebrity guests such as The Last Dragon, Tybok, Megan Tandy, and voice actor Dave Fennoy.
Hey, how you doing? I'm voice actor Dave Fennoy with a shout out to all my geeks, freaks, and urban nerds. Just want to let you know I'm going to be there and I want to meet you at the Urban NerdCon Gaming and Cosplay event. It's happening July 29th through the 31st in Montgomery, Alabama. Hope you want to meet me as much as I want to meet you.
So join us by visiting theurbannerdcon.net for ticket and vendor information. This will be the premier Blurred event in the universe. Theurbannerdcon.net. Our heroes, our villains, our stories, everyone's con. See you there.
You see, Head & Shoulders has scalp shield technology, protects against flakes even between washes. It's never not working.
Kind of like us. We're never not working. Number 15?
That's my rub.
Ooh, nice.
Never not working.
Never, ever, never, ever not working.
Welcome everybody to Juneau, Alaska.
I don't like this one.
Me neither.
Let's get out of here.
Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head & Shoulders scalp shield technology.
Some carriers will give you just one measly entertainment subscription. One is no fun. With Verizon, there's up to 7 entertainment subscriptions with your unlimited plan. That's 7 times the... 7 times the... No. 7 times the...
Music, gaming, Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Plus, and more. That's 7 times the entertainment.
Because everyone deserves better. And with plans starting at just $35, better costs less than you think.
At CDW, we get speed as the new currency of success.
Our team spends way too much time tending to outdated applications and software when they should be focused on driving application agility and innovation.
CDW Amplified Development Services modernizes software and application development to help accelerate innovation and digital transformation.
So you mean building new applications, UI, and mobile interfaces?
Well, you said you needed to innovate more quickly.
Oh, so he's a listener.
To do more at scale, trust CDW Amplified Development Services.
This is the Dean of the College.
Welcome back to the BCSN Game Time Show, live here at SWAC Football Media Day here in Birmingham, Alabama. It's a pleasure to be joined by Mr. Derek Lewis, the president of PepsiCo Multicultural North America. Awesome. Pleasure to be here.
Same here, my brother.
Just so happens that Mr. Lewis is also an Orlandoan, so it's good to have some hometown connections with him, and we've talked a little sports and basketball, local stuff, but PepsiCo is becoming involved in a big way with the SWAC. Tell us a little bit about that.
First of all, it's an honor to be here. Thank you for the opportunity. What an exciting day here to be at SWAC Media Day. The excitement's in the air for the fall coming up. The football, the bands, the tailgating, the student experience. So we're really thrilled for that come up. We're also thrilled about our partnership with the SWAC. It is evolving in a very, very strong manner. As Commissioner said earlier in one of his interviews, the SWAC is hot, and we want to ride that wave with them and create unparalleled new opportunities for all the stakeholders that are involved in the HBCU space. I'm an HBCU alum from Hampton University, the real HU. That might be, that can't be disputed here.
I think you may have a few wins on that other HU, so I say you can
exactly.
say that. I say you can say that.
Nobody wants to go to the competition. They just want to talk about other stuff, But most importantly, we're thrilled about the opportunities that we have to, share in our vision for what we want to do to impact positive change, right, in the space, right? We have a rich history in HBCUs. We have a rich history in sports. It's complemented by what the SWAC does. And so, we absolutely are on the same page of what we want to go do. This year, more importantly, we want to create a more end-to-end experience. What I mean by that is not only the consumers and game day and create the great experiences with our portfolio and products, but also on campus. Recruitment with the students, being involved in the classrooms in a different way, bigger way. Thinking about how to extend business partnerships, minority-owned, black-owned businesses in the partnerships with the university, businesses that we have, or opportunities to create new businesses out of that or scale businesses out of that. And then when you talk about the community, ability to affect change in a positive way in the community, linking what the school has in mind, what we have in mind, and most importantly, what the voice of the community says they have in mind, and being able to triangulate that together, I think creates a really special, unique dynamic that transcends across not only sports but also the community at large, right? And that's really where we want to, I think, make a huge impact this year.
And you obviously have a firsthand knowledge being a graduate of an HBCU, so you definitely are able to bring in that understanding of how important a relationship for a conference, an HBCU conference, these 12 institutions can be, and talk a little bit about what that financial impact and the impact that brands like Pepsi and others can have on HBCUs.
Huge, and especially the way we're showing up because we're using the full portfolio this year. So not only brands like Pepsi, brands like Gatorade will show up, brands like Rockstar, brands like Doritos. I mean, we're looking at this as a holistic portfolio play this year. So that's something that's going to bring more awareness, more hype, more engagement, and more resources ultimately. So we're looking forward to that. And just generally speaking, right, I came from an HBCU. It's all about creating access. HBCUs just need access. We just need a level playing field. My role in my company now is to level the playing field. So it's my job to make sure HBCUs are getting their fair share of those investments, that access, those resources that can make a difference for student athletes, and the community at large.
And that's a great thing. I mean, it's more than just being a title sponsor or of an event or a classic. As you said, you're reaching into the classrooms and really trying to work with these students. And you mentioned some of the opportunities that you're providing. From a sponsorship level, what type of an event or events will Pepsi or PepsiCo have its most impact in this, I guess, first year or early years of this relationship?
Yeah,
with
I think we're gonna build on it. I mean, we were out there, even though we were operating in a COVID environment, which was obviously a bit difficult. We had to respect the protocols that were being put upon us, but we still showed up, and we tried to do our best showing up in an end-to-end way, in a very authentic and big way. Now that I think we're returning back to normal attendance, I think a lot of those protocols, restrictions are going to be certainly relief from where they were, will now allow us to be really full amplification. So I think you're going to see like wow factor. So I think, certain events of the year, certain weekends, certain games, we can't be everywhere every single weekend. We love to do that if we could. But I think we're going to certainly use special moments, special competitive days, dates on the calendar to really be at our best and to celebrate, all the things about culture, the games themselves, the competition, the bands, the students, the tailgating. I mean, again, all about end-to-end for me because I don't want to leave anybody behind. We don't want to just show up and be that brand that just shows up for the tailgating and the consumer. I want to be there for the students. I want to know that students have opportunities to join our company, work for our company, learn more about our company in those engagements. I want to know that we are bringing suppliers along who work in the community that can do more business with the community or certainly support the events in the community because we have the extension of the reach with them. So you're talking about maybe black-owned restaurants or other suppliers that do connect to the activities that go on campus. Right. And then cause-related stuff. Look, if we don't actually give back, we don't take any of the moments and time and resources to actually advance the community at large, then we're not doing our jobs, right? So connecting this whole end-to-end thing is really a new orientation that I want to be able to bring in my new role, elevated discussions with Commissioner and his team, and we're all on the same page. So our ability to start that this year and build on that year after year is coming.
Now, obviously, I know in talking, you're a bit of a basketball guy with a basketball family ties, but here we are at Football Media Day, and 220 media members. And when you think about some of these schools, some of these brands, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you to make some predictions. But as best as you can, as you look at the SWAC East, the SWAC West, and maybe some of the brands, who are some of the teams you're familiar with? Obviously, Florida A&M has a history there with Hampton. We had our days together in the MEAC. But who here among the SWAC teams are you looking forward to this upcoming season?
Yeah, my prediction is going to be a hell of a year.
There you go.
And I'm actually quite anxious to listen and hear from a lot of the coaches today and some of the student athletes today because I think the competition is going to be very tough. I think you can pick a number of schools that you can obviously say, yeah, based on what they did last year, the way they exited last year, the rosters. But I think the coaches are doing such a great job in this conference. I think the student athletes are working hard. I think they've realized that the SWAC is such an elevated brand in the whole college football world that you're going to see, I think, some really new faces on the scene. I think you're going to see some programs that come out of nowhere that go, wow factor. And I'm, again, anxious to listen and digest and I see what happens. But most importantly, I'm going to be on campuses a lot throughout the fall, especially now in my new role. I can get to more games. I'm going to be at more games. And so if you check me mid-year, I'll give you an actual prediction based on what I see because then it'll be factual.
There we go. I love that. Before I let you go, I'd have to ask you about name, image, and likeness is one of those hot topics over the past year in college athletics that has come up. Are there any avenues or opportunities in which PepsiCo is exploring working with students individually or in terms of name, image, and likeness?
We obviously always take a look at that. It is a huge platform now in sports. You can't go anywhere without talking about it. So we understand its importance now in sports, on universities, on campus as we go forward. We do have Shador is one of our athletes. He's a Gatorade. He was the first, I think, HBCU athlete that Gatorade is going to really, really get behind. So you're going to see some really exciting platforms there. And we're going to continue to look to build out. So those conversations are evolving. But, yes, we absolutely have interests. We have support. We understand it better than we did a year ago. We're still learning, obviously, in the first year of it. But I think it's here to stay, obviously, at least for now. And we're going to engage in the right way to make sure we're bringing about change and equities to ensure that people are given opportunities.
All right. Score prediction, Hampton, Howard this year?
50 to something less than 50.
The second 50 burger I've heard put up by somebody up here. I think this might, and I think the guy who said it was in that same spot. So
50 to something less than 50. That's all I'll tell you. You can use your imagination.
Look, Howard folks just upset right now. That's all right though. You guys get a win, and then you can come back and claim
exactly
exactly.
I heard some talk on the BET Awards that didn't resonate. So I have to come back at that.
I saw that too, and got to win some games
before
you can claim that.
Exactly.
Yeah, Mr. Lewis, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
And hopefully catch you maybe in Orlando sometime.
Absolutely, man. Let's do that.
All right. Thank you for joining us. Come back in a moment. You're watching the BCSN Game Time show right here at the SWAC Media Day on the Black College Sports Network and HBCU League Pass Plus.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
Oh, that spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat. Ooh, yeah, that's nice.
Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless.
Pick something we all like. Okay, hold on. What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
Buick Envision 2021.
Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable.
That's a really tight spot. Don't worry, I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you, all of you.
Time to call a credit repair company to fix my credit. Hold the phone, man. You can do it yourself with Credit Versio. That's way too hard. Call the credit repair company. Most credit repair companies only work on 1 or 2 accounts at a time, making it slow and expensive. You won't figure that out for months. Ignore him. Credit Versio's brilliant software scans all 3 credit bureaus, finds the accounts that are hurting your score, and guides you through the entire process. Anyone can do it. Let's fast forward and see the results. Wow, I fixed my own credit and saved hundreds. You can do this. Visit creditversio.com.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m. Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
So we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta. For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992 or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com. For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, authentic Caribbean cuisines.
Open up the door, tell your mama hungry.
The new GMC Sierra with hands-free driving offers the most advanced and luxurious pickup in its class. Yeah, it rocks.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again. This is Always Ultra Thins reinvented with the Always Triple Protection System. This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with the totally reinvented Always Ultra Thins. This is always like never before.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
Charmin Ultra Soft has so much cushiony softness, it's hard for your family to remember they can use less.
Sweet pillows of softness.
This is soft. Holy Charmin. Oh, excuse me. Roll it back, everybody. Sorry.
Charmin Ultra Soft is so cushiony soft, you'll want more, but it's so absorbent, you can use less, so it's always worth it.
Now, what did we learn about using less?
You gotta roll it back, everybody.
We all go, why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
That's a pretty tight spot.
Watch this.
Of course your Buick parks itself. That's so you.
It's just up here on the right.
Of course you know where we're going. That's so you.
Kinda got a sixth sense.
And a head-up display.
They're here.
Hit the field, warm up. You brought all these players in your Buick?
Yeah,
So you.
it is.
There's a Buick that fits your life because at the heart of every Buick SUV is you.
Are you ready? It's time. The inaugural Urban NerdCon is coming to Montgomery, Alabama, July 29th through the 31st. Blurs, nerds, and geeks from across the universe will converge on the capital city to see celebrity guests such as The Last Dragon, Timok, Megan Tandy, and voice actor Dave Fennoy.
Hey, how you doing? I'm voice actor Dave Fennoy with a shout out to all my geeks, freaks, and urban nerds. Just want to let you know I'm going to be there and I want to meet you at the Urban NerdCon Gaming and Cosplay event. It's happening July 29th through the 31st in Montgomery, Alabama. Hope you want to meet me as much as I want to meet you.
So join us by visiting theurbannerdcon.net for ticket and vendor information. This will be the premier blurred event in the universe. Theurbannerdcon.net. Our heroes, our villains, our stories, everyone's con. See you there.
We are back, Black College Sports Network. I'm BJ Jones, and joining me right now is one of the most accomplished coaches, not only in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, but of all of FCS football. I got head coach of the Alcorn State Braves, Coach Fred McDaniel. How you doing, Coach?
Man, I'm doing outstanding, man. Great to be here at the SWAC Media Day with some of the great fraternity coaches that we have in the league, and a phenomenal outcome. I think the commission doing a great job of promoting this conference, and also with the two additions in the conference, the FAMU and Bethune-Cookman.
Man. So, Coach, last year was an uncharacteristic year for Alcorn State, especially you guys reeling off, man, 6 straight over there in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, the Eastern Division. How was the challenge, transitioning over to the Western Division? You got Southern, you got Grambling, compared to what you had over in the East?
I think the biggest thing is once you're used to being on the top of things and you kind of have a down season like we did last year, and the thing that you have to do during the off season in preparation of the 22 years. So I think that we addressed the needs that we in those positions that we needed to, and got more depth in those positions as well. And the transition has been good. It's no different than playing in the Eastern. Other than we didn't play Texas Southern or either Pine Bluff, when we was in the Eastern Division. But I think the transition has been good. I think the guys are very excited about where we at in terms of getting this team prepared to play in the 22 season.
Now, Coach, this is the first year in a long time. I'm so accustomed with Alcorn State, we kind of know who the guy's going to be behind center. We had the transition when we had from Gibbs. You had Gibbs, then you had Noah and some guys in between that, Lenore's Footman. in the lights, we kind of knew who that next guy was going to be. This year is a little bit different. How is that quarterback competition going down on the reservation, and what are you looking for as far as the guy that's going to take the reins and lead the program?
Building the bridges of quarterbacks, and the thing is that we do at Alcorn State, we're embedded in that. And you talking about from the John Gibb, to the Norris Footman, to Noah Johnson, up until Felix Harper last year. And now we got some guys in to compete for that position. It's going to be outstanding quarterbacks. And I'm excited about the quarterback position. And I think Coach Phillips is doing a great job of transition from receiver coach to the quarterback coach. So just getting those guys to do the right thing, getting them used to his terminology, what he want to do in the read and progression, and things of that nature. So I'm excited about where we're at. We got 4 guys here during the course of the summer, and they're working hard, and I think Coach Phillip is very excited about the progress they've been making throughout this summer camp.
All right, Coach, I got one more question before I transition it over to your players. But Alcorn State University, you guys have a culture of just tough, hard-nosed football. Defensively, you got Cedric Thomas back as defensive coordinator. You got him back. How do you feel about the identity of this football team compared to what we've seen in the past from Alcorn State University?
You know, the biggest thing is with the expectation of this offense and of the defense and the way we progress through the years, Coach Thomas knows what we're looking for philosophy-wise. And that's the thing he brings to it. We lost Coach Thornton to Grambling last year. And Coach Thomas coming back, you know, nothing changes. The guys used to Coach Thomas, they've seen him before. They understand his terminology. They understand the speed of the game on that side of the ball. It's going to be very fast. So, you know, just being able to play physical, play downhill, and do the things we're supposed to do, be in the right places, getting all of them guys to be doing the same thing, being on the same page is very key.
All right, you heard it straight from the head man himself, head coach of the Alcorn State Braves, Fred McNair. Now we'll transition it over to Jamie. We got some players from the Braves.
Yes, we do have some players. I'm sitting here with KJ Kinzer and CJ Bowler. Now, listen, we're going to talk outside football a little bit. I know we can talk X's and O's all day, but describe the atmosphere of the reservation, because I always get that this is the environment. You know, there's other stadiums that come in and, you know, cool, they get the hype. But tell me about your experiences in the reservation and just what it does to motivate you all as players.
Well, there's nothing more than a family feel, for real. Like, I know I can depend on anybody, not even just the football players, but anybody in the school, that if I need to get something done, they'll be able to help me with it. And that's really been it was a great transition for me after I transferred, because a lot of stuff I didn't know where everything was. I didn't know who to talk to or whatever. But that was the family atmosphere was probably the easiest transition for me.
All right, KJ, same with you.
Yeah, just to piggyback off what CJ said, you know, that family feel, you know, is no other. You know, you can walk through the tailgate after games, you can get a meal, you know, and when we playing, it's like, shoot, you can hear it. Like, it's there, like the energy there. You know, you got people sitting up on the hill and stuff, you know. It's crazy. It's a crazy atmosphere. It's a great experience.
Now, I heard Coach McNair talk to BJ earlier about just what your expectations are as far as a team and what these Braves, this 2022 campaign will be. What are your individual expectations and what are your goals for this upcoming year?
You on my real
yes, I want the raw truth.
So the most important thing for me is us to grow in the wide receiver room. And we've already started doing that since we've been back. But my main goals this year, I wanted to get 10 touchdowns, 70 catches, 1,200 yards, and beyond that, try to break some of these records that's been held over these years. I think the single receiver record for catches was 85. Receiving yards was 1,322 by Tim McNair. And then the touchdown record is held by Lee Charles Pringle and Tim McNair, as well as 14 touchdowns. So I want to get my goals first, but if I can, I want to try to break those records as well.
I love it. I love it. You already had those stats in your head ready to break them. What about you, KJ? What's your goal? What are your individual goals for the year?
Well, I feel like my individual goals kind of tie into our team goals. You know, I want to get back to the big game. And, you know, if we get back to the big game, I feel like my goals will get achieved, you know. But wholesale, you know, I want to be the defensive player of the year. And that's my standard that I set for myself. And that's pretty much it.
Outstanding. Alcorn State's done a lot of winning over the years. To get back to that place of where you feel you need to be, what will it take as a team?
To completely buy into what we're trying to do. It's been more player-led since we've been back, you know, so it's not so much as letting the coaches down, but letting the players down. And I feel like that's going to be a big step in getting back. That's pretty much it for me.
You know, I feel like the little things, you know, if you go back and watch our games from last year, you know, despite being 6-5, you know, we were in all those games, and there was little key things, key mistakes that, you know, kind of tipped our boat. And I feel like we do the little things right, we do the small details right, then we'll be back on top.
All right, and here with KJ Kanzer and CJ Bowler, this is BCSN Game Time here on the Black College Sports Network and HBCU League Pass Plus.
You see, Head & Shoulders has scalp shield technology, protects against flakes even between washes. It's never not working.
Kind of like us. We're never not working. Number 15?
That's my rub.
Ooh, nice.
Never not working.
Never, ever, never, ever not working.
Welcome, everybody, to Juneau, Alaska.
I don't like this one.
Me neither.
Let's get out of here.
Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head & Shoulders scalp shield technology.
Some carriers will give you just one measly entertainment subscription. One is no fun. With Verizon, there's up to 7 entertainment subscriptions with your unlimited plan. That's 7 times the... 7 times the... No! 7 times the... Music, gaming, Disney+, Hulu, ESPN+, and more. That's 7 times the entertainment! Because everyone deserves better. And with plans starting at just $35, better costs less than you think.
Let's see.
This is Dr. Ville with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, a special presentation of BCSN. I have none other than the VP of Athletics at Jackson State University and none other than Coach Prime, head football coach of Jackson State University.
Of athletics? Who the president?
Vice president.
How you the vice president of athletics and you the AD?
You didn't tell him you got a title?
Vice president and director of athletics.
But how is that? You should be the president of athletics. Who's the president?
I got you.
Of athletics?
Yes. He's the president.
Huh?
Of athletics.
Right.
Makes
so
sense.
the VP of what? He's the VP of what?
Vice president. Previous is intercollegiate, but you want to be the president of athletics? I'll put it right here. We'll start it right here today.
I thought that was
we
the
have
title.
none other than Ashley Robertson,
straight up, I
the
thought that was
president
your title.
of athletics at Jackson State University.
That's what it should be, shouldn't it?
We'll stick with VP.
Oh, you
How you the VP? I'm sorry, I ain't know that. That don't even make sense. How the AD the VP? Who was the president of athletics?
I don't know who.
I'm straight up.
No, I
I'm really,
understand your point in
I'm-
terms of if you are over that organization, you are the president of that organization. In this case, it's athletic, the Department of Athletics.
Right.
You're the president of the Department of Athletics.
Man, okay, let's go. This is
All right.
man,
With that, let's start it off.
I don't
Doing
understand
big
that.
things at Jackson State. We know that no matter what title we want to give these individuals here, that's without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
We had a recent cover, Sports Illustrated, where
Yeah.
your son is on there, #1 recruit. Talk to you a little bit about that. How did it all come to fruition?
We have a wonderful agency representation with Constant Sports and SWAC Entertainment that's been partnering with me for over the last 2 decades. And they make things happen. Just like they made things happen with The Rock coming on campus to hold the tryouts there. They made things happen with several different entities, Pepsi and so forth. It's some wonderful things happening in Jackson State due to relationships, and we're very appreciative of that.
Certainly. Let me go to you, Ashley. In terms of these relationships, all the things that are going on in Jackson, a lot of things you're building, what culminates as it comes to the SWAC 2020 Football Media Day? What is on your mind right now?
You know what's on my mind right now. We're getting ready for fall season. We're getting ready to support our kids, support my coaches, getting ready for camp. It's no vacation right now. We putting things in place to make sure that our kids can be successful, make sure that our coaches will be successful. And for me, it's all about our coaches and our student athletes. And we got to make sure that we continue to put things in place. And that's a lot of work. It's not something that people pick up and you start one day. One thing I love about Coach Prime, anything that has football involved in, he's touched it. It doesn't matter what it is. Coach is very involved in everything that goes on to have what his kids, have his kids going on. Whether we're eating, whether it's hotel, whether it's uniforms, and that's what I love about Coach. I tell this story all the time. A lot of times when you hire a Hall of Fame coach, you have a coach that had the success of coach, best athlete of all time. They come to practice for 2 hours and they leave. Coach is up at 4:30 in the morning calling me, hey, let's go to breakfast. Let's talk about this. And he's there. And he's there until 8 or 9 o'clock at night. He's involved in that program every single day. And I knew from day one when Coach came on campus, I said, we're going to be successful because of his work ethics, his vision, his coaching staff that he's hired, and what he expects from his coaches and his student athletes. And it takes work. And Coach Prime, he has done a really good job when you're talking about changing the culture of Jackson State football. He's done a really good job of setting that tone. He's done a really good job, the vision that he has for the program. And it's something that he's very, very passionate and serious about. This is something that he really don't play about. And I respect that. I love that. As athletic director, you have to be good partners with your coaches.
That's right.
And you have to support your coaches and your student athletes. And that's the thing I love about, what Coach is doing every single day. And he loves that passion that he has for those young men and young women. And I say young men and young women. We have a lot of young women in our program, our managers, our trainers. It's very important to our program. And Coach makes sure that he has a vision and a plan for them. And he takes passion in supporting them and giving them things they need to be successful.
Let me follow up with that culture and passion you're talking about. And as you developing that, you've seen it at the highest level, what it means to develop a culture. In and outside of
that word. I don't know what the word means.
And
I don't know what the word culture means. Like, what does it really mean? Because it has so many different definitions.
When I talk about culture, I'm talking about in terms of your organization.
There you go.
Right?
What we've created.
What you created,
Gotcha.
right?
Gotcha.
Singular,
like
Jackson State University.
Okay.
When you were with other organizations, you held them to a standard.
Yes.
You won championship, played for World Series because of a culture of excellence.
And a commitment to excellence.
Right?
Right.
And so
a unified commitment to excellence.
Excellent. And so as you bring that everywhere you go, talk about the challenges of getting folks to understand what it means to be champions at every level throughout an organization.
I'm very fortunate to have AD. When I tell you very fortunate, every head coach is not equipped with a man that understands, a man that knows, a man that's a forward thinker, a man that you don't have to wait on, he's going to be there, a man that's willing to step outside the box and think in the entirety and not just the individuality of what we're trying to do. And you got to understand, we feel as though we're a model for a multitude of HBCUs. And you can say that it's braggadocious or whatever you may entitle it. That's who we are. So we're trying to do things right because we know there are people watching. There's people emulating us and imitating us. And we want to get it right. We want to perfect it before we package it and disperse it out into the community.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're doing.
Good. Talk about a little more about how do you package that? When you talk about going through a day, you said getting a call at 4 o'clock in the morning to talk about business, about moving things forward in an organization. I know that's one thing that you've always been about, but now you collide with these two individuals and you talk about setting that standard. Talk a little bit more about that.
I'm going to take it a step further. On our level, we've always made safe hires. We stay to step outside of the box and make a hire because you steer what comes with it. And, for me, I'm all about challenges. I'm all about making those hires that's going to make us better. They do it all the time on other levels. And now, we're starting to do that on this level. And I was able to bring a Coach Prime to Jackson State University. And I tell people that all the time. You know, the attention that we get at Jackson State, it has nothing to do with Ashley Robertson. You know, as an athletic director, at the end of the day, you can raise money, you can do some great things, but if you make the wrong hire, and we're scared to make those hires. And one thing people know about me, I'm always looking
you can't
out of
be
the box,
safe and move
out
forward.
Of the box. I'm always about change. I'm always about, hey, challenge me. And that's something that Coach Prime, we do every day. He challenged me, I challenge him, and he challenged for the right reason. And that's for us to be great, for us to support these kids and give them what they need to be successful. You hear Coach Prime every day, he'll tell you, it's for these kids. And that's what it's about. Everything that we do, anybody that work in higher ed, we got to make sure that we do this for these kids. And Coach said it earlier today, when we out recruiting, first thing, there's two things that parents going to ask you. Where my kid going to lay their head at and what they going to eat.
Absolutely.
And we can't keep saying, oh, we got the tradition. You know, we got those questions got to answer. I'm a parent. You know, so we have to put things in place to make sure these kids, you know, are successful and make sure that we can support our student athletes. And not only that, support our coaches. And when you're thinking outside of the box, there are always going to be challenges. But when you have challenges, that brings work. And when you work, that brings success. So, you know, when you take the easy way out, if you want to be 5 and 6 every year, you make that safe hire.
That's right.
If you want to win 11 conference games,
you don't do it.
And change the program and hire somebody on September 2021. They start December 2021 and win a championship December 2022.
Yes.
In 12 months, you make a co-prime hire.
Well, I want to know about challenging. As you said, how do you challenge folks not to be part of the status quo?
I'm a straight shooter, my brother, and I do my homework. And what we do at Jackson is not for me, and it's not for Ashley. It's for those kids. It's for the community. It's for the SWAC. Oftentimes, when I'm talking on these type of platforms, I'm not just talking about Jackson State.
Right.
I'm talking about the SWAC. Unfortunately, some of these coaches don't have the latitude to say what I can say because I'm not concerned about job security. Me and my dog, we straight.
Right.
I'm sorry, my AD, I got a little comfortable. My AD, we're straight, but I love him like that. So we're talking about we're trying to improve the whole house, man, not just Jackson. It would be ignorant of us just to improve what we have and not think about our brothers. I've bonded with some wonderful men out there. Coach Dancy. If he had the resources we have, he'll probably kick all our butts. Let's just get that straight.
Yes, sir.
Coach Simmons.
Right.
You know, Coach McNair. And some of the others that Coach George, you know, Hugh. Mm-hmm. These guys are unbelievable coaches.
Yes.
They can coach at a multitude of levels. I just want to help them attain the resources and the infrastructure and the business practices that should be. We shouldn't have to relinquish what we believe is right just because.
Right.
We should expect it. We should expect our programs to operate like other programs. We got to expect that, man. We got to quit talking about it and truly expect that.
Right. And what are some of the things that we need to really understand about expecting that?
We got to change some of our business practices. Okay. We keep talking about tradition. We keep talking about this. We keep talking about stuff that it's been the same. It's going to keep operating the same. You're going to get the same results. Yeah. We got to change that. We got to bring in more innovative people. We got to do things differently and get rid of some of the people that's been in positions that ain't provoking no more change. We really got to take this thing up another level.
Yeah, they talk about insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result.
But we keep talking about it. Ain't nobody doing nothing about it but us. But when we do something bad, now you see the results, but you get mad at the results. But that's because we produce change.
Right.
It's change everywhere around.
Right.
It's change at our stadium now. It's change everywhere. And our media department has changed. Everything touching this program has changed.
It's stepping up for positive, yeah.
Because we got to go. We run, man. We're sprinters. We're not long distance runners. We're sprinters.
I like that.
And we're not going to slow down and wait.
For no one.
For no one. This ain't no relay. This is sprint.
I understand that. Let's talk about that, going back to you, in terms of sprinting and getting there. What is the nexus?
We want to dominate. Coach said that earlier. We want to dominate. All our sports, football program, we want to dominate. And we want to dominate because we want to make sure that we get these kids in all positions so they can get to the next level.
That's right.
We have some talented athletes, talented students, and not only the next level, you know, in the pros, but we want to see some Fortune 500
CEOs,
you know, CFOs,
presidents,
programs, CFOs, presidents, you know, and that's what we want to continue to do, and that's our next step. We want to dominate in everything that we do, on and off the field.
Right.
Last question I have for you, Coach Prime, in terms of that dominate. What does that look like when you say dominate? I'm sure it's on and off the field.
It's on and off the field and in the classroom. On the field, off the field, and in the classroom. And also, I have several kids that are fathers. I would be remiss if I'm not teaching these kids how to be a father, how to be a man. Academically, we got to dominate in those classrooms so we obtain those degrees so that we can get to the next level. We got to dominate in the community, opening doors for people doing things, picking up trash when it's needed. We got to do all those little intangible things that gets us to the next level. I love when I'm out and about in public and they say, you know what? I met one of your kids and he was the nicest young man. I get it all the time, and I love it. Now I also I met one of your kids and he was I get that too, and I check that at the door.
Yes, sir.
We don't play that, so we're trying to build a whole man. 95% of our kids are not going pro,
right?
If not more. So we got to prepare them for life. And we're trying to do a wonderful thing and to get them into the Fortune 500 companies. And some of the companies that we partner with already has given opportunities to these young men to start not at the bottom level, but mid-level employment where there's 6 figures involved.
Yeah, and to the point of yourself, even if they go to the NFL, even if they win Super Bowls, have a World Series championship, or play in the World Series, end up being a Hall of Famer, there's still life after that. How do you make sure that you prepare? Is what you're talking about is to continue no matter what level of sex you have.
That's right.
That'll do it for us, Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab.
Amen.
Here on the BCSN, we have Coach Prime and the president of the Department of Athletics, Ashley Robertson.
Ain't no vice in here.
Yeah, that's the name of the show.
We good.
Appreciate you, Coach.
At CDW, we get speed as the new currency of success.
Our team spends way too much time tending to outdated applications and software when they should be focused on driving application agility and innovation.
CDW Amplified Development Services modernizes software and application development to help accelerate innovation and digital transformation.
So you mean building new applications, UI, and mobile interfaces?
Well, you said you needed to innovate more quickly.
Oh, so he's a listener.
To do more at scale, trust CDW Amplified Development Services.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
Oh, that spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat. Ooh, yeah, that's nice.
Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless.
Pick something we all like.
Okay, hold on.
What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
Buick Envision 2021.
Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable.
That's a really tight spot. Don't worry, I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you, all of you.
Hey, it's Neely from The Pregame Show coming to you live from Birmingham SWAC Media Day. You see who we have with us. QB1, Shakur Sanders, legendary, and Travis Hunter.
Yes, sir.
DB, wide receiver, #1 recruit in the nation. This is your first SWAC Media Day. How's it feel to be here?
It feels great to be here, man. Just a blessing to be here on the first time I got to college.
Yeah, we just had a little mic issue.
Yeah, you right there. All right. Just making sure.
Now, you know
just making
live. This ain't no pre-record here. This was live.
All right.
So, Shadur, second SWAC Media Day for you, going into your sophomore season. You know, we were here a year ago, and everybody said you were out your mind for the predictions you made as a freshman. You said, I play against the #1 defense in the nation. You said we're going to go undefeated. You said we're going to win the SWAC championship. And they said that's a crazy freshman. What's the craziest sophomore got to say?
Hey, man. I'm going against the #1 corner, DB in the country. So, air raid offense coming soon. Live to you, Coach Brett. He know what he doing. Off-season workouts.
Ain't nothing to play with.
It ain't nothing to play with. So, we're excited for the season, though. It's time to dominate.
You teed it up. We won the SWAC championship, shortened the Celebration Bowl, but Coach Prime made some, I guess, significant changes in the offseason, even though we're undefeated. New offense coordinator, new strength and conditioning program. You've gotten a taste of that strength and conditioning program with the summer workouts. How's it been going?
Oh, it's been very good. I mean, the first time I got here, it was all right. Second time, came back. Second time, it got a little hard, a little hectic.
Yeah.
Stadiums.
When we post videos kind of from the early spring to now, people can see and they comment on how y'all's bodies have changed. Like, man, Trav done put on some muscle mass. You know, people see it. How's it feel?
I just been always this big. You know what I mean? I just been big like that.
I don't know, man. You know.
But it feel good to put on some weight. I mean, it feel good. We know that all the work that we're putting in, we can see it.
Yeah, see the results of it. Yeah. So for you, your off-season strength and conditioning, this is the true first off-season for you.
Yeah, true first off-season. Like Trav out there.
What's that growth been like?
It's been. I would say going into the workouts, I feel like they've been pushing us like to the max. So it's one of those things where when we first come back from break, we know that Friday, them bleachers, them stadiums, is happening. So whatever you've been doing on that week off you had, man, you better not do it. That's all I'm saying, because you know what we got when we come back.
You know, those are the same stadium steps that Walter Payton worked out and Eddie Payton worked out and Robert Brazile worked out. Running those steps used to be a JSU tradition. And
I see why he was great. Definitely.
See why his leg was that big.
I could feel that he's great. I could literally feel in these thighs.
No, they was back in the day, so they probably rent the whole stadium. See,
well, no, but here's the thing, Trav.
I ain't doing that.
You know the end zone where the U is? That wasn't there then. It was just two sides facing each other.
That's what I'm saying. They
so
probably
you actually running more than they ran because y'all do a circuit.
Oh, yeah.
But you never know. They probably did a circuit too now.
Yeah. But I'm just saying part of the stadium wasn't even there, so they had
what
to go
he's
back
saying
the
is
other
we
way.
worked harder than Walter Payton and them. Yeah.
So let's talk about expectations, man. We're about 40 days away from departing to Miami for the Orange Blossom Classic. It sets the tone for the season. Week 1, SWAC opponent, Eastern Division opponent, basically everything on the line. Is that some pressure for you?
No, they're definitely a tough opponent. They're well coached. They got very great players on their team. But the thing is, we just got to focus on us and limit the mistakes, limit the errors, limit the turnovers, and, you know, we should be fine.
What are you looking forward to your freshman season contributing to this program?
Doing everything they said I could do. Just going out there and show the people that I can perform on any level. I mean,
so the spring game was an indicator?
Nah, that was just a little taste. That ain't nothing major. You know,
okay.
I caught a pick on him. I can't do that in the real game. But, you know, that's just a little song.
Now wait, we cleared something up on HBCU game day. The video that went viral with you getting the pick at practice and throwing it back to the offense, that wasn't off him.
I don't even know. I don't know who it was off of, but I know I caught it.
I'm telling you, I would cry to you for I lied to you. That was not off me. Told I threw him one pick, and that's the one y'all seen on TV. But I haven't thrown at him a lot. I will say that.
Me like 2 times.
All right, bro.
So that's
he reaching now.
And completion.
Come on, bro.
And a pick. So I'm 100%.
So you saying QB1?
He reaching now, bro.
He avoids you at practice?
Yeah. Oh, no. He completed 1 pass. So it's 1 for 3. You 1 for 3 at me. He 1 for 3.
So 1 completion, 1 incompletion, 1 interception.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to let them – y'all can have that, run with that on the media, but I don't know because I'm not thinking, oh, it's Trev. Let me just –
But let's talk about the other side of it. When he's on offense.
Oh, yeah, then he's my best
friend.
friend.
It's called the Travis Hunter play.
Yeah,
so you look for that side of the field.
Yeah, I look. Whenever he's on the field, I make sure I look. If he's on defense, offense, I know, okay, Trav on that corner, let me be early with this throw. I know if I'm late, it's over with.
Yeah, that's good information to have. So, Trav, Coach Prime, Deion Sanders played both sides of the ball. Mm-hmm. He's your head coach. I know I see him coaching you up and giving you advice. What are you looking forward to as far as, you know, when you can make those transitions out there on special teams, out there on offense, out there on defense?
What I'm looking forward to?
Yeah.
doing what I got to do. I'm trying to be blessed to get to the next
How
step.
quick is the adjustment in your mind to go from that side to that side?
Oh, no, it's real easy. I mean, I've been doing it my whole life. I've been playing football since I was 4, so I've pretty much been doing it pretty much since I've been born.
You make it sound easy.
Yeah, it's just easy.
But ain't a lot of people done it, so it can't be easy.
It's easy for me. You should have started out like me.
Shedeur, talk again about the defense you face at practice, whether Travis is on it at a particular time or not, when you're going up against the ones or even the twos and some days the threes, how that prepares you to face conference play.
I would most definitely say whenever fall camp start, you know, we're getting on our A game, our O-line, because the D-line that we have and that we assemble, they're getting back there. We're definitely missing James Houston, Antoine Owens, but I would say we got a whole bunch of fresh legs. So every play I know is going to be, they're going to get in the backfield a couple times, but just going to the fall camp, we just got to focus on it. And the better our O-line can block them in the game, it shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah, you know, one of the things I've noticed about this D-line, this revamped D-line, yes, James Houston is gone, Antoine Owens is gone. Let's say James Houston got you 3 sacks a game. Now you got about 4 people that can get 2 sacks a game, and 4 times 2 is 8.
Yeah.
So we're probably going to end up with more defensive pressure than we had, because now which side, who do you block? Which side do you cover?
Yeah, it's tough, and it's no drop-off. I would say with the defense, I feel like it's no drop-off. I think the ones, I'm saying in the box, in the box. The ones and the twos, just on paper, seeing it, I feel like it's no drop-off at all. The twos can be the ones. The ones can be the twos. Like, it's one of those things where it just depends on, like, we may play rock, paper, scissors, like, who's going to start this week? Receiver, too.
Yeah. Which we've seen y'all play rock, paper, scissors before.
And I won. All he did was
he did
do
win.
rock.
He did win. He did.
But
But you know what? How about rock, paper, scissors right now? How about that?
Let's do it. Come on.
Rock, paper, like, No. You see what he did?
Yeah.
You see? So it's rock, paper. You doing it 3 times? All right.
Did it too.
All right, bet. All right.
What is he doing?
Hey, man, they compete at everything. So one final question for you guys, and let's talk about competition in depth. You have to cover them on defense, and then you join them on other plays on offense.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this new depth at wide receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a full room that
Full,
Coach T.C. Taylor
with an
has.
LL.
Yeah, it is full over there.
Mm-hmm.
How excited are you to throw to those guys, and then coming to you, how excited are you to cover them in practice?
Well, I would say everybody has different things they're great at. So we may have this guy on the outside. He's a speedster. So we know we're going – with the receiver room, we got to use everybody to their talent. Don't have nobody play or do things that's not them. So we know this receiver is not good on inside routes. We're going to shy away from inside routes from him. Or I know I'm not going to go to inside route on him. So that's what I feel like is the pros to having a lot of receivers. You could – whatever we want in the game, we could get to it by plugging that guy there, putting that guy here, there. Then we got Quay Davis, which is he could be a running back also.
Like Debo Samuels, man, like he a pocket
He
knife.
could,
He
could be a running back
and I
also.
really
So
I'm a running back too, though.
He's too little. He's too little.
I'm a running back too. I can get through that now.
I think the SWAC is going to be surprised at what Quay Davis brings to the table. Everybody's looking at Shane Hooks, Mal, all these receivers.
Kevin Coleman,
Kevin Coleman, but
Cam
Davis
Buckley. It's just a list of names.
Yeah.
You can't even say one receiver because there's so many that we have and so much depth that we have. So the main thing we got to do this year, just make sure we all just stay on the same page, and that's it. We got a lot of different, what's the word? We got a lot of different personalities.
Yeah.
That's the word. We have a lot of different personalities, so we just got to make sure, we all remain knowing the goal, and we just win.
That's it. Now, that's him speaking of the receivers that he's throwing to.
Yeah.
Most of the time you're guarding them. How does it raise up your game and raise up their game at practice when y'all go against each other?
Because they got something to prove.
Yeah.
Just like me, but they got something to prove. They know they're going against the best, so they want to go ahead and show what they can do with the best.
But do they ever say you the best, but you're still a freshman?
Nah, they don't ever say nothing to me. They just go ahead and do their work because they know if they say something to me, I'm going to get how I got on that video.
I love the competition out there, man. In August, when we get back, we're going to have a couple of open scrimmages around town so people get to see what's going to take place this fall. But, man, Best wishes to you guys this season. You know, the pregame show will be there every step of the way. We've been here with Shedeur Sanders, QB1, and Travis Hunter live, the pregame show from SWAC Media Day.
Yes, sir.
Time to call a credit repair company to fix my credit. Hold the phone, man. You can do it yourself with Credit Versio. That's way too hard. Call the credit repair company. Most credit repair companies only work on 1 or 2 accounts at a time, making it slow and expensive. You won't figure that out for months. Ignore him. Credit Versio's brilliant software scans all 3 credit bureaus, finds the accounts that are hurting your score, and guides you through the entire process. Anyone can do it. Let's fast forward and see the results. Wow, I fixed my own credit and saved hundreds. You can do this. Visit creditversio.com.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m. Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
So we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta. For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992 or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com. For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, authentic Caribbean cuisine.
Open up the door, tell your mama hungry.
The new GMC Sierra with hands-free driving offers the most advanced and luxurious pickup in its class. Yeah, it rocks.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again. This is Always Ultra Thins reinvented with the Always Triple Protection System. This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with the totally reinvented Always Ultra Thins. This is always like never before.
For 200...
And welcome back to the Game Time Show, BCSN, and on HBCU League Pass Plus. I am with Alabama State head coach Eddie Robertson. Coach Robertson, how you do?
Going great. What about you?
I'm great. I'm great. We were sitting here chopping it up just about old times, and you know, as me being an A&T graduate, we had some familiar
Aggie pride.
Yes, Aggie pride, absolutely, absolutely. But we're not talking about them today. We are talking about the SWAC here at SWAC Media Day. And Coach Rob, how has it been transitioning back to your alma mater?
It's been great. I mean, the good thing is I'm talking to and working with people on a familiar base that I'm familiar with. A lot of alumni that I went to school with or that I knew just over the last couple of years. So great transition. I'm looking forward to it. Just can't wait till the season starts now.
Absolutely. Now, social media is a buzz when it comes to the Hornets at this point. I know, several alumni in the Atlanta area, which I'm based out of. But I tell you what has been the biggest thing as far as coming back in a coaching role and just dealing with, everything that goes along with being a head football coach?
Well, I think the biggest thing is you have all of your friends and people that you're familiar with, classmates, and so they still want to call and have that 15-minute phone call. And they're like, man, I really just don't have time to do this. And so, but that's the part that I have to navigate because I want to have everybody to feel like that they're part of the Alabama State football program. So when I say swarm is one, that's all of the former classmates, teammates, alumni, everybody. But just as a coach, you only have 24 hours in a day. And, of course, my biggest concern is the student athletes, to give them that student athlete experience that I had, to make them want to be alumni, make them want to participate in Alabama State as a lifetime affair. So just trying to manage your time so you can give a little bit to everybody, that's kind of the biggest challenge.
Absolutely, absolutely. And speaking of that swarm is one, again, me being a social media buff and just, kind of taking heed of what's going on. Where did that philosophy of Swarm is One come from?
Yes, so I'll tell you, I'll give you the good story. So, I mean, I'm just sitting at home after I got the job and talking with the AD, and he's like, hey, man, we have to brand the program. So I'm thinking, you know, Swarm is one. I'm thinking, you know, Swarm together from a defense standpoint. So I'm thinking more of a kind of like a small scale. Hey, the defense is going to swarm and attack, and then, you know, we just have that style of football. So then it just kind of, between the two of us, is like, hey, you know, Swarm is one, and then make it, you know, kind of beyond just the defense or just the team, but then a whole community deal. And so I think in the press conference, it just kind of came, and the questions just kind of evolved. And once I started talking, I mean, I really didn't think it was going to turn into what it did. You know, sometimes things are created just out of, like, organically.
It has pop.
Correct. And so then the next morning, I'm like, man, everybody hashtag Swarm is one. I'm like, man, this is pretty good. So, and the fans have really caught on to it, which has been exciting to me. So I don't feel like I'm a very creative guy. So the fact that you're able to help create something is kind of one of those things that's pretty cool.
Now, how do you bring your professional experience into this ball club? This is a new team, new staff. You know, you've dealt with some staff changes. How do you take your professional expertise and bring it to this squad?
I mean, my biggest thing is just accountability, first of all, more than anything, and then just the organizational skills. So the three things that I tell to my players is attitude, effort, and intelligence. But that goes to everything that you do in life. To me, you have to start off with a great attitude. I mean, if you're a student athlete, whether you're talking to your professor, if you come into school or practice or whatever, attitude is what's going to get you in the door and is going to keep you there. And then our effort is something that we can't, it's not an on and off switch. Effort happens every day, and that's the coaches too. Coaches have to put in effort. And then just being a smart player, the intelligence part, making good decisions on and off the field. So the things that I'm trying to teach the kids goes way beyond your time as a student athlete. It should stay with you for the rest of your life. And so those type of deals, I think if you put it into the kids, they understand that coach cares about me as a player first and then as a football player second. So once he knows that I'm into you as a student and as an athlete, and then it kind of all transcends. But if you don't care about the kids and they know you don't care about them, then it's hard for them to convince them to play hard for you.
I love it. I love it. Now, I've said for years, I've been to several ball games down in Alabama State. The facilities are second to none. I'll tell you what, it's a great environment, great stadium for football. When it comes to the X's and O's, what kind of team will you be this year?
Yeah, I think for us it's going to be physical and tough. I mean, when I think of offensive line, like I told them guys earlier, if I have a 3rd and 1 and everybody knows we're running the football, we're going to run the football.
Okay.
And I think it starts with those guys because that offensive line, to me, that's what makes the defense tough. Because physically, if my offensive line is tough in practice, then my defense has to respond. Then you kind of go back and forth pushing each other. We had that in the spring. We're having that over the summer. The competition amongst each other for positions and playing time and making a travel squad. To me, the really good teams, you have multiple good players at each position where the guys know if I miss a practice, if I miss a game, if I miss a room check, you know, if I miss an academic practice, then, hey, I may not be able to play because we have people on the team that are just as good as me. And it improves your special team. So I think, you know, being a tough physical team, you know, that's what we want to get back to. I mean, I love the passing and excitement. This is the SWAC. You know, we rather win 48-42 than 7-3. I understand that. But at the end of the day, you have to be physical and tough.
Now, you've played in this conference. Tell me about just what you're up against as a you know, a team in general.
I mean, if you look at just the East, I mean, you have Jackson and FAMU and Alabama A&M, who's our big rival. You have Mississippi Valley, who beat us last year, and they're playing, you know, great football down there. And you have Bethune-Cookman, who's right there with everybody else, right? You know, all of the speed and athletes you have out of Florida. So just coming out the East is going to be tough, but that's what's going to make it fun. I mean, so I think when you're in those environments where you have to raise your level to the level of the conference, so I think every team and every coach feels like they've gotten better from last year. So now it's a matter of putting all that together and then competing against each other to see exactly where you are, and that's the part that you look forward to.
Absolutely, absolutely. Love talking to head coach Eddie Robertson here of the Alabama State Hornets. Now, looking forward, I actually may be at that game against Miles. Okay. I hope to be anyway, hopefully. You know, hey, prove those credentials.
We'll get you there. Just
I appreciate it. But can you preview that game a little bit? Because I'll tell you what, last year it was a dog fight. I remember that game in particular. What are you looking forward to in playing that game?
Well, I think the biggest thing, that's our home opener, getting into it. I mean, Miles College, I mean, Miles and Tuskegee, although they're the D2 schools in state, I mean, talent-wise, if you look at the players on their roster, they have a lot of guys that are good enough to play at the FCS level. So they don't come into this game looking at, hey, we're the small school playing the bigger Alabama State. They're coming into this game like, hey, we're the small school who's going to beat the Alabama State. So I think for us, our mentality has to be, hey, we have to understand who we're playing, and that if we don't play well, that they are capable of beating us. So it's not an opponent that you can look over. From a Labor Day Classic standpoint, we'll have a lot of people on campus. The new stadium be there. We have a new field turf, so that's going to be a big deal with Bama State in the end zone.
Yes.
And so, I mean, it's going to be a lot of excitement things on campus. But, hey, my job as a coach and the kids' job is, hey, we're hosting the party. And the biggest thing you can do to make everybody have a great time at the party is win the football game. So that's our job. We're not there to have fun. Our job is to win the football game.
All right, my last question for you. What are your expectations for this upcoming season?
Well, I feel like we have the people in place that we can compete for the SWAC championship. So I don't go into a season saying, hey, we want to improve from last year. We want to have a winning season. If you're not going into the season thinking that you can win every football game and expecting to, then I think you've already lost.
All right. Well, this is head coach Eddie Robinson of the Alabama State Hornets. This is the BCSN Game Time Show. Well, actually, hey, we're going to go straight to the players. So we're going to talk to Faith Daniels and a couple of Hornets ready to definitely swarm this year.
Daniels here for the Black College Sports Network, and I'm here with a few Hornets, that black and gold, I would say. You guys go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Rashad Davis, Miami, Florida, safety.
Demetrius Davis, quarterback, Houston, Texas.
So how are you guys feeling today? It's SWAC Media Day. We're in Birmingham. How does it feel?
I feel great.
It's a lot going on, but it's all right.
Okay, so now out of all the players that your coach could have selected, he selected you guys. How does that feel?
It's a great feeling because it shows that he's confident in me. He knows that I'm going to go into this season, wanting to win every game. So that's great.
Same as he said, man. It's just it feels good to know that my coach is confident in me, and it just makes me want to deliver as I always do.
So now you're a quarterback. How would you describe your game? Are you an aggressive quarterback? You laid back? How do you lead your team?
I lead my team with actions, just showing them that I'm capable of doing stuff like a winning quarterback could do, so actions.
Do you raise your voice,
Nah, I ain't raising my voice to my teammate.
Okay.
Unless I have to.
Okay, and now you're a safety. You're on defense. You get the job done. How is that?
It's just I do what I have to in order to win, so that's all.
Okay. Now this SWAC season should be pretty interesting. What game are you guys looking forward to the most?
I'm looking forward to the first game against Howard. I've just been counting down the days, so yeah.
What about you?
Same, man. We just want to take this season one game at a time. We don't want to look past no team, and we just see you in Atlanta August 27th.
Okay, period. Both of you guys are returners for the team. What is your biggest expectation for this season?
To be holding up the trophy at the end of the season.
Okay.
I didn't go here last year, but I have huge expectations for us this year. So.
Where are you coming from?
I'm coming from Auburn.
Albany.
Auburn
University.
University.
Okay, I was going to say, not Albany, not Georgia. Okay. Now, were you guys able to go on the stage yet, or? Okay, so how was that experience to have all those cameras, being on ESPN, more lights than what you're seeing now? How did that feel?
It was a great experience, especially like the people that was up there we was talking to. We played golf with them last night, so it was a good little vibe.
Okay.
I was a little nervous. I can't lie to you. But once they like he said, the people that we were getting interviewed by, we had a chance to meet them yesterday. So it was like not talking to strangers, but talking to people you kind of already know. And my coach is real good with the camera in his face. So when I see him answer a few questions, it just made me open up and get the pre-jitters out.
Okay, now I'm a Gramblinite, so I'm gonna automatically feel like I'm the original black and gold. But what does it mean to wear black and gold and to be a Hornet for you guys?
It's a history thing, man. It comes from a long line of people who've worn black and gold and contributed a lot to the university. And like my coach, he came from Alabama State, and he made it to the NFL. And when he was there, they had a good team, and they won the SWAC championship. So it's like, it's been done before, and to wear these colors mean a lot. So you have to come with it.
The colors mean a lot because I know I plan to graduate here someday. So they're like Alabama State will always be with me for the rest of my life. So I guess that's why the colors mean a lot to me.
So what are you guys' majors?
Business communication.
Period.
interdisciplinary studies. It's the same thing as business.
Oh, okay. So what do you guys plan to do with that after, depending on, how far both of you guys go?
I want to start my own brand, like probably a year from now.
Okay.
I'm going to be up here with you interviewing people.
Okay. Just let me know. We'll exchange contacts.
For sure.
So before I let you all go, my final question for you: what is one thing that your coach constantly says in the locker room or in practice that sticks with you and will continue to stick with you even after you guys stop wearing your black and gold?
Be able to control yourself in any circumstances and any situation. And I think that's a good thing for me because growing up, I had to deal with those issues of being uncontrollable and sometimes letting my anger out. That got the best of me. So that's something that I would like to, abide by throughout the rest of my life and just something that I've been working on.
He don't really say this much, but, basically just treat every day like it's your last. Give your all every day that you attack every workout. So that's about it.
Is there anything you guys want to let the Hornet fans know, SWAC fans know?
I've been saying this all day. Stay tuned.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. So that's what y'all saying, Alabama Hornets.
Yeah, we don't want to say too much. We just want them to watch. Actions speak louder than words.
Okay, period. Faith Daniels for the Black College Sports Network on HBCU League Pass Plus.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
Charmin Ultra Soft has so much cushiony softness, it's hard for your family to remember they can use less.
Sweet pillows of softness.
This is soft.
Holy Charmin. Oh, excuse me. Roll it back, everybody. Sorry. Charmin Ultra Soft is so cushiony soft, you'll want more. But it's so absorbent, you can use less. So it's always worth it. Now, what did we learn about using less?
You gotta roll it back, everybody.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
That's a pretty tight spot.
Watch this.
Of course your Buick parks itself. That's so you.
It's just up here on the right.
Of course you know where we're going. That's so you.
Kinda got a 6th sense.
And a head-up display.
They're here.
Hit the field, warm up. You brought all these players in your Buick?
Yep.
So you.
It is.
There's a Buick that fits your life because at the heart of every Buick SUV is you.
Are you ready? It's time. The inaugural Urban NerdCon is coming to Montgomery, Alabama, July 29th through the 31st. Blurs, nerds, and geeks from across the universe will converge on the capital city to see celebrity guests such as The Last Dragon, Timok, Megan Tandy, and voice actor Dave Fennoy.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm voice actor Dave Fenoy with a shout out to all my geeks, freaks, and urban nerds. Just want to let you know I'm going to be there and I want to meet you at the Urban Nerd Con Gaming and Cosplay event. It's happening July 29th through the 31st in Montgomery, Alabama. Hope you want to meet me as much as I want to meet you.
So join us by visiting theurbannerdcon.net for ticket and vendor information. This will be the premier Blurred event in the universe. Theurbannerdcon.net. Our heroes, our villains, our stories, everyone's con. See you there.
You see, Head & Shoulders has scalp shield technology, protects against flakes even between washes. It's never not working.
Kind of like us. We're never not working. Number 15?
That's my rub.
Ooh, nice.
Never not working.
Never, ever, never, ever not working.
Welcome everybody to Juneau, Alaska.
I don't like this one.
Me neither.
Let's get out of here.
Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head & Shoulders scalp shield technology.
Faith Daniels, and we are back with the Black College Sports Network on HBCU League Pass Plus, and I am here with some of Prairie View's finest. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
I'm Trayvon Conley, quarterback, Prairie View A&M.
Travion Green, linebacker for Prairie View A&M.
So how are you guys doing today?
I'm doing fine. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Now, out of all the players that your coach could have selected, he decided to pick you guys. How does that feel?
It made me feel... It just made me feel special. I ain't even gonna lie.
Okay.
I feel like it's an honor, to be selected for this position and everything like that. It just shows the level of trust that Coach has in me. That's what I feel like.
So you guys did take the stage already, and it's 50 million cameras in your face. Were you guys nervous, excited? What was the emotions that you guys are feeling?
Actually, we ain't even took the stage yet.
Y'all didn't yet? That wasn't y'all?
No, we didn't take the stage yet. We still waiting. But the first interview, that's what we had to get used to it, though, because the first interview, we was both nervous. I mean, I was about to start sweating, and I know he's about to start sweating. But after the first, and it was like, all right, cool. Everything easy now.
You guys suit up every week. Pads hitting on each other, taking hits. Are you scared to talk in front of a camera?
No, we ain't never scared of nothing like that. It just...
You're sweating.
No, we wasn't expecting all the cameras and everything. We thought it was just one stage. And then we come in here, and it's the main stage, just our table. It's another room. It's an upstairs room. So we was like, we didn't know what to expect.
That's just what comes with the territory. Y'all them guys. Okay, now you are the quarterback. How would you describe your game? Are you laid back, leader by example? How would you just describe your game?
I feel like I'm a pocket passer, but I do like to lead by example. But at the end of the day, you got to lead by words also, because everybody learns in a different way. Everybody interprets information in a different way. So it's about being, what is the word? It's about being able to relate to everybody and get the best out of everybody any way you can.
So you play on defense. What would you say is the best part about being on defense? Because, you guys are really the aggressors.
Best part of being on defense, you can make plays whenever. You depend on yourself to make a play, so whenever your number get called, make a play.
So if you had the opportunity to play on offense, what position would you play?
I had to say running back because I want to score a touchdown.
Period. If you had to be on defense, what position would you play?
I would hate to play defense, but definitely middle linebacker.
Okay.
'Cause I want to thug something up at the end of the day. You come through, you're going to get clapped.
Okay, period. Aggression, I like that. Okay, so out of all the universities that offered you guys, what made you guys choose Prairie View?
It just gave me a family-orientated, and it just felt like home.
When I first got the offer, I didn't know that I had a lot of family that did go to Prairie View, so it's more about continuing the legacy and trying to make PV the best that I can while I'm there.
Okay, now we're here at SWAC Media Day, and a few faces are familiar. One of them including your former head coach, Coach Dooley, who is now at Southern. How did it feel to see him? Was it good vibes? How is it?
It was awkward. I ain't gonna lie, it was awkward.
Okay, that's honest.
It's good vibes between me and him.
That's honest.
It was good vibes for sure, but we don't really talk to him because he switched sides. So he went back to his alma mater, and that's cool.
Yeah.
We got something for him.
Okay, y'all heard that. Okay, he said he got something for you guys. Okay, so going into the season, what is your most anticipated matchup? Which game are you looking forward to the most?
Southern.
Southern, okay. I thought I was going to hear Grambling because, you know, you were talking a little smack before we got on the camera, so I just didn't know.
I'm going to say Alcorn.
Okay.
We let them slip away. Y'all ain't slipping away this time.
Okay. So do you have any message to those two schools that you want to let them know? Like,
No, we don't. We're not gonna do too much talking about it.
Oh.
It's just getting it done. It ain't no reason to hype everything up and talk. Nah, just gonna get it done when we see them on the field.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fight for sure, though, right? I'm ready for a fight.
okay, you guys said you guys are ready for a fight. So my last question before I let you all go, what is something that your new coach has taught you, told you that sticks with you, and that you'll use this upcoming season?
Coach Bub has a high level of expectation for us, so it's about getting everything done and doing everything right, not taking the shortcuts, not doing nothing that you wouldn't usually do. So it's all about listening. It's all about trust. It's all about that's what it's about. It's about trust. It's about having heart and being a playmaker. You got to be a playmaker at the end of the day.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a perfectionist. He want everything done right, and he's just gonna preach our work ethic, get our work ethic right.
So thank you guys so much. I wish you all the best of luck this season. Hopefully I see you guys at the Cotton Bowl. You know, we're going to beat you guys. And it's going to be so much fun. Faith Daniels with the Black College Sports Network.
False.
This is Dr. Cavill with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with a special production of BCSN. I have none other than the head football coach at Prairie Green A&M University, Bubba Mcdaniel.
Thank you, sir.
Have you gotten used to that?
I gotten used to it.
Oh, that's good.
But
That's good. You deserve it.
You can say it again, though.
Head coach of the Prairie A&M University Panthers,
Thank you, sir.
Bubba Mcdaniel.
Thank you, sir.
All right, no problem. Well, let's talk a little bit about it. I know you're preparing for the big season this year in terms of that. What has been some of the transition been like for you?
Oh, it's been challenging. Again, you know, making sure that the kids stay focused. You know, with their downtime and with them transition from Coach Dooley to me. You know, now we all got, we both got different views, different values, different philosophy. So, and again, now just me trying to put my philosophy with theirs, match it, so we can get ready to go for camp.
I know coaches don't want to tell all the secrets at this time because, other folks come back and watch, so we understand that. But give us a little idea from an offensive and then defensive side of the ball. What are the things that you want to get done, or what type of offense do you plan to run? Either way.
I mean, again, if everybody know PV, one thing we do have, again, we got a big offensive line up front, and we got a host of talented running backs back there.
Yeah.
So we're going to be switching them in and out.
Okay.
We got a couple tight ends that we're going to be using in and out. Guys that can actually spread, that can come in and block and also be spread out. And we do that again just to keep guys from getting their players on the field, so we can go fast. We still want to go fast.
Okay.
And again, we want to be able to stretch that field.